Hey guys, a quick little interruption before we begin. Number one is now my podcasts are out on Spotify, so the link for that will be in the description if you prefer to listen on Spotify. And then number two is this podcast was 3 hours long. I chopped it down just a little bit, but the last 30 minutes, there is no video. There is audio, so you're going to be able to hear us, but there is no video, just so you guys are aware. That's all I got to say. Let's get right into the video. Ready to go?
Let's do it, brother.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and welcome back to another sports podcast. Today, we have one of my good friends, JP, here on the podcast. Your first podcast, so thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, bro. By the way, if you see me looking at my phone, I'm looking at the notes.
Bet.
I'm not
It's
texting.
okay. I know I'm boring.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time. We're going to have a really good discussions in terms of like football, you coaching, even some high school stuff, and then also faith. That's something I want to touch on as well. So
Bet.
First things first that I always do with my guests is NFL Wordle. My laptop is over there, so let me grab that really quick, and then we're going to do it.
I came prepared for the NFL Wordle. I'm trying to get it in two. Let's see if we can do this.
Get it into, I don't know if I've ever gotten into. Well, actually,
It's the first time for everything.
I got it in one once because I always start off with Raheem Mostert. And then one time for like a week straight, I was like, let me just do Max Crosby. Got Max
Got
Crosby.
him?
Got him instantly. I was so hyped. That's why.
Do they give you clues for the first guess or no?
No, first guess is
It's just a random
Just
player.
random. Yeah, just absolutely random.
Yesterday I was like, we're going to get it in one. if he gets a clue for the first guess, we'll get it in one. But
Unfortunately not. Bring it just a tad closer. A little bit more.
Better?
Yes, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Like I said, I always start off with Raheem Mostert, but since you're the guest, you choose. So we can start off with whoever you like.
Let's start with Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jettas. Oops. Justin Jefferson. All right. So they're not in the NFC,
Okay.
and they're not a wide receiver.
Thank you.
Taller than 6'1", and their number is higher than 18. So any
AFC higher than
player.
18.
Yeah.
It's only skills, right?
Yeah, only skill positions.
Tight end, running back.
Oh yeah, it could be a tight end. Mike Gesicki. He plays for the Bengals. now.
Not in the NFC,
Right.
right? Okay. I like Mike Gesicki. Over 6'1"?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's like
Yeah,
6'6". Yeah. Okay. Bro, what if it's Mike Gesicki? Okay, so they are a tight end. They are in the AFC North. They're 28 years old. Their jersey number is higher than 88.
Higher than 88.
Mark Andrews,
There we go.
right? Gotta be.
Mark Andrews is what, 80?
He's 89.
9?
Yeah. There we go. Got it in 3. Woo.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll take it.
Let me screenshot this. Boom. Because, bro, I'll do this, and then I'll forget to screenshot it, and then I can't put it on screen. Unbelievable.
Got it in 3.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
I'll take that.
Thank you.
Yeah. 3 is good. It's better than like 4 or 5.
At least we got it.
But yeah, we got it.
That's what I was worried about. I was like, dang, I'm going to go in there and we're not going to get it.
No.
Maybe.
All right, so let's give the people a little bit of a backstory on our background. We played high school football together. You played left tackle. And I played quarterback, as everyone knows. But give people a backstory on if there's any like high school football like locker room stories. I know that there's a ton, and I don't know if they're appropriate, but
They're definitely not. They're definitely not. One memory that I have that pops up on my Snapchat every so often is it's actually Adam
okay.
and Squeeze.
Uh-huh.
And Squeeze used to go around with his ID or his card, and anytime somebody, we were these kids, we were very fruity, all right? So anytime somebody would bend over, he would take his card and swipe it up there, bro. So I have a video of Adam sitting down looking at Squeeze, and Squeeze going up to Kodo when Kodo's putting on his pads or something, going through his bag, and he just goes swoop, turns around and walks away.
Bro.
That is the most PG story that I think
Yeah.
I could think of because, yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, bro. Football
High
locker
school
room
was a fun time.
is crazy. And like you said, some of the stories you can't even talk about because of how crazy they are. Do you remember the fight that happened between Brian and Lewis
And
in the locker room? I think it was like right as the school year started, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember I got like the best angle of that fight. I literally had the best angle, and everyone was hitting me up for it, right? Then the next day, Principal Meadows finds out that there was a fight in the locker room. And I'll never forget this. You texted me, and you were like, yo, bro, Principal Meadows is going around. Send me the video.
I need the video because I need the video too, man.
Send me the video and delete it. He's calling people to the principal's office. Bro, I'm like 15 at the time. I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble. So I send you the video, and I delete it instantly. And no one ends up coming to. But, bro, that angle, bro, if I could have that again, I kid you not. Like, they were like up close. They started pushing. Then eventually Lewis swung, and Brian went, whoop, and then gang, and caught him. Bro, my phone was like up here.
For context, though, Brian, this is why it was so impressive. Brian is a small guy.
Yeah.
All right. He's not bigger than maybe 5'2".
No, he's
5'3".
No. Come on, you gotta
He's tiny.
He's like 5'5", 5'4". Like but he's not 5'2". 5'2" is my girlfriend's height. He's not my girlfriend's height.
Listen, I love you, Brian. I see him he goes to the crunch in Osceola. Yeah, he's getting big now. He's not tall. He's growing like Maurice Jones-Drew. All right, sideways, not up.
Yeah,
he's a smaller guy.
Yeah,
and Lewis was a much bigger guy. Not built, but just bigger in general.
probably my height, 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah,
But wide body.
yeah. So this happened in like one of the corners of the locker room, and I was like near like the coach's office and the showers, and there was a bench there. So as they start fighting, I stand up on the bench and put my phone over, and like I kid you not, I wish I had that video to this day, because that angle, if I would have sent that to World Star,
oh yeah, 1 million views,
bro, 1 million views instantly. That was such a perfect view, bro.
Were you there when Canada fought at FCA?
Oh my God! And X like dropped him.
Yeah,
I wasn't there when it happened, but I was at FCA. Yeah, that was crazy. I felt bad, and X felt bad too.
It was bad.
You watched it happen?
Oh yeah.
So what happened?
It was terrible. We should not be fighting at a Christian camp, all right? So FCA stands for Fellow Christian Athletes, all right? It's like our 2 or 3 day camp over the summer, and we have a service and all that as well. After one of our meals, we're just a bunch of idiots. We're messing with people's bags and stuff like that, and this kid we called Canada on our team, he gets upset. And they start going back and forth. We're all instigating this fight, just like great high school kids are supposed to do, instigate stuff. And so we're in a dorm room. We're in a dorm room. I'm not going to say where we were at, but we're in a dorm room. Everything's carpet. We go to the one section of the place that's tile. All right. We go to the one area that's like a tile, hard floor. If you land on it, it's not good.
Yeah.
And all of us know when the fight is happening because we've all instigated it. We've all set it up. Mm-hmm. I'm not proud of this. But we all meet up, and it's literally like you would think this is like an underground fight.
Yeah.
Because we're all standing in this little like
tiny room.
6x6 box.
Yeah.
Standing on top of each other, like all huddled over the walls. And so we put them both in the middle. We're like, all right, no coaches here. Like, you guys just fight, and then we'll break it up, right? So they didn't want to start the fight. And all I remember is somebody pushing Canada into X, and he pushes him, and then he goes to swing. Canada swings, but it was like a soft swing, like he didn't really want to fight. And that's when I knew it was over. As soon as he did that swing, X swung, hit him, went for his legs, picked him up. It was a very short fight, and then dropped him on his head. But the scary part was that when he dropped him, because we're on tile, he started to, like, he was bleeding.
Yeah.
And so, again, not proud of this moment, but we all ran.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, yeah, well, it's a wrap. So we all scattered, and we obviously helped Canada up and to put him in a room. We cleaned him up, like, made sure he was alive. We're not that barbaric. But I just remember Coach, oh my goodness, his name is escaping me.
Coach Rob, Coach Phillips, no. Coach Webb.
Coach Webb, rest in peace, Coach Webb. Coach Webb comes out, hey, what are you guys doing? What's all that ruckus? What's going on? And we're like, nothing, Coach, we're good. And they knew that we had fought, but they didn't know who fought.
Yeah.
So it kind of like settled down. We all just hid in everybody's room like, oh, no, we were just in here chilling out.
Yeah.
And that was it. Then Canada transfers.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets back from
FCA.
I
remember, I think I was in a room because it was me, Adam, and Maurice. And we were in a big room, like this big. And it was only 3 of us. It was supposed to be 4 people, but it was just us 3. And I remember like me and Maurice like looking at each other like, what was that? And then we didn't think nothing of it. Then like 10 minutes later, I'm like just walking in the halls because you're in a big dorm room or like a dormitory, a big dorm. And I'm walking through the halls and I see like X sitting on a bed, like looking at Canada, and Canada has like an ice pack on his head. And I'm like, dude, what happened? Like, what's going on? And this is why I say I know X felt bad, because he was there trying to cheer him up and everything. And I was like, damn, like this kid's new. And like he had been getting bullied too, as much as I don't want to say it, he had been getting picked on because he was new. That's just kind of how it is, but
it's how it was, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So
not something we're proud of, but
yeah, no,
it was the reality.
Yeah.
He's doing really good though now, Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
You still keep in contact with him or no?
I talked to him months ago. Okay. Because he would post a lot about like his own fitness journey, and so I reached out to him, and I like to reach out to people just to be like, hey, bro, we see, like, people see what you're doing. It's motivational. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of like, maybe they need a little bit of a push.
Yeah. And
so we talked for a little bit, and from what he told me, it was a brief conversation. He was doing good. So I'm glad he was doing good. I saw him. I don't remember where I saw him, but I saw him a long time ago. I would say over a year ago. And we spoke briefly in person, and he looked like a different person.
Really?
Yeah. Like I could tell that obviously he grew up, but like his mentality changed and all that for the better, not for the worse. So it all worked itself out that way.
Good. So speaking on like him and his fitness journey, do you want to talk about your fitness journey as well, and kind of how people see you now, but how much weight what weight you were and how much weight you've lost, and kind of going through that and then the mental challenge?
Yes. So I lost, I think the biggest gap between where I was and where the lowest I had ever gotten was 112 pounds. Sheesh. 110 pounds, 112 pounds. It was just mental. It just came down to mental discipline. Mm-hmm. I try to tell people, because now, like, when people see that I lost all the weight, everyone's like, oh, how'd you do it? Like, help me out. Like, let's go train. Let's do this. And I'm like, it has to be a decision first. Yeah. So once you decide in your head that you don't want to have the weight, you will do things that correspond with that decision. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to eat that extra McDonald's meal, or you're not going to go to McDonald's tonight. You're going to just go home and eat something that you have at the crib. Yeah. Even if it's something small, right? You're going to wake up and run even though you don't want to. Yeah. Or just walk right? You're going to do something incrementally that'll get you closer to that goal. And so that was the biggest thing for me, losing the weight, because I lost the weight. I didn't lose it how I wanted to. I lost all the weight in about 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was during COVID, but I didn't have access to a gym. So I didn't look like how I look now. I'm not as in shape as I've been. Like, I'm not the most in shape that I've ever been. But I still look fairly fit, right?
Yeah, bro.
And so when I lost all the weight, I was like skinny fat. Like, I didn't look really fit. I just looked skinny.
Yeah.
And then I had a bunch of like loose skin everywhere and just extra fat that was hanging off because I didn't do any weight training. It was just cardio and core. So it's been an interesting journey because even now I'm still like trying to be consistent, stay consistent in the gym, stay like new goals, new things to shoot for. But it's simple, not easy, because you have to keep every single day, bro, same thing over and over and over again. But that's with anything, that, faith, finance, football, they all follow along the same path. If you do the small stuff every single day consistently, you'll eventually come out on top.
Right. I remember when you posted on Instagram for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
From like, a selfie of you when you were big and then a selfie of you when you're skinny. I was like my initial honest first reaction was like, who is this? And then I was like, oh my God, it's JP. And I remember I instantly went and showed my dad. I was like, Dad, look how much weight JP lost. He was like, oh my God, he looks so great. But I want to ask, was it mainly just cardio and core, or was it cardio, core, and calorie deficit?
It definitely, calorie deficit was a big thing. Just because I did what I now know to be intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
But for me, we can all call it like these. I hate labeling it like that because it sounds like a task to do. I just wasn't hungry. Like, I just didn't eat when I was bored, which is what we do.
Yeah.
Like, as people.
Yep.
You're like, I need 3 meals a day. It's like, you're not even hungry enough to eat. You just ate breakfast. You're not hungry enough to eat lunch.
Yeah.
But because you're going out with friends or football's on or something, you're like, well, I'll just get an appetizer. Or, oh, I'm not going to let you eat alone, so I'll eat with you.
Yeah.
And so that kind of became a part of me where I told myself, if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. And when I eat, I'm going to stop when I'm full.
Yeah.
So a big thing in like Hispanic households is you're going to eat everything. Like, I don't care if you're hungry or not, the plate better be clean.
Yeah.
And so when I got the opportunity to live by myself, I didn't have that pressure of like, okay, the label of like, I'm the vacuum now. I got to eat everything, right? If it's in front of me, I got to eat it. I got to a point where I was like, I'm full. I'll save it for later.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to eat it. And that helped me cut so much. Because I would wake up and I'm like, am I hungry? Not really. Okay, I can wait till 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 p.m. To have my first meal and still have the energy to operate throughout my day. So definitely, yes, calorie deficit. But I think the more important key for people looking to lose weight is just listen to your body. If you're hungry, then eat. If you're not hungry, then don't eat.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother told me this. And at first I was like, oh, you're right. Humans are addicted to food.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My brother also told me, like, people, back, when Jesus was alive and during the Bible, people wouldn't eat 3 times a day, and even now I do the same thing that you do. I only eat twice a day. Sometimes, rarely, maybe like once a week, maybe twice a week. I only eat once a day. Like, I'm just not hungry. And like, I work out. I mean, I'm not like skinny.
That's all right,
I got some, but I run, yeah. So I do the same thing. I don't eat breakfast. I drink my water and I stay hydrated, but I just don't eat breakfast. I wake up at like 8:30, 9 a.m., work, and sometimes I won't eat lunch till like 12, 1, maybe 2. And then I'll have either like a light dinner or just a late dinner. And then that's how I'll eat.
And you're good.
And I'm
right?
good. I'm not. It's not like
don't feel
I'm
any-
starving. Oh, I'm
Exactly.
skinny. Like I'm fine. Like It's. I don't mean to say cocky, or I don't mean to come off cocky when I say this, but if I want to gain weight, I can easily gain weight.
100%.
And if I want to lose weight, I can easily lose weight. Like I don't know, my girlfriend hates it. It's so easy for me. Like it's so incredibly easy for me. I've lost 10 pounds over like the last 3-4 weeks because I knew we were going on a cruise. I'm like, okay,
I gotta look right.
I got a little something on me. I gotta look right. And I lost like 5 pounds like that, 6 pounds like that. She's like, how do you do it? I'm like, first of all, like I'm always hydrated, but I will only eat my meals. I don't eat snacks.
I was about to ask, did you like change your meals for that time, or what did you do differently to take that weight off that quick?
I'm also a big snacker, especially late night.
Okay.
I just stopped eating snacks.
There you go.
I only ate my meals. And once I was like, okay, I'm full, I stopped eating. A big problem that I also had before was, and not to say I was overweight or anything, but is when I was full, I would just keep eating. Whereas now, like if I'm full and I'm like, like you said, I'll save it for later.
Look at the hungry kids in Africa. They're not going to be able to eat this food. I need to enjoy.
Right. I need to eat a
It's like,
them.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't feel bad for not eating food because then you're going to gain weight that you don't want to gain.
Exactly. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is you and I in high school. I'll use this. We got recruited, and we also went to some camps together. So I honestly don't know the answer to this question. Did you end up playing or going to college to play football?
No. I signed.
Okay.
And I went for their camp, but I didn't end up playing there. It was for Weber.
Okay.
Sorry, Weber. I love you guys. Thank you guys for recruiting me. But no, I didn't end up playing there. It was just financially, I didn't see the reward just because at that level, I wasn't a D1 athlete or anything like that. Because I was lazy, unfortunately, as a high school kid, or I didn't know any better. But I did get recruited by NAIA and D3 schools. And so at that level, at least for me at that time, they didn't offer me a full scholarship.
Yeah.
So it was all, 50% scholarship, stuff like that. And so my grades were average. They weren't the best. They weren't the worst. So I didn't get many academic scholarships, and I didn't get any like federal help or anything like that. So when they gave me the paperwork at camp, right, like the actual, all right, here's what you got to take your loan out or pay us for, it just, I was like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not going into debt that much every year, and I'm not going to make my parents, not that there's anything wrong, right, with your parents paying for your school, but I just didn't want to have that because of the relationship I had with my parents. I didn't want to go through that. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
And so I ended up just backing out and being like, I don't think this is the right time or thing for me right now or my family. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to do something else. And so that's how that turned out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What else did I
Did you ever go to, did you get any offers or anything that you were considering actually doing?
So to give people a background, I'll answer your question after I give this context.
No, answer now. No, I'm just kidding.
So I played quarterback in high school. I played JV my freshman year. Then my sophomore year, I was the backup on varsity to Henry. Then my junior year is when I finally started like 3 games before I got benched for Maurice. And then throughout the season, whenever we would play worse teams, Maurice would play the first half. I would play the second half. And then, not to get too much into it, I felt like I was disrespected. So I made the decision not to play my senior year. And, I mean, I only had like 5 games of film, 6 games of film, if that. And to answer your question, yes, I was getting recruited, and yes, I was getting offers. If I can remember the number correctly, I believe I got like 18 or 19 offers.
Sure.
One school that I was really considering was some school in Ohio. I don't remember the name. All I remember is their like colors were like orange and white or something.
Yeah.
But I was considering going there.
Greenville?
I couldn't tell you,
Dang,
honestly.
okay.
I really couldn't tell you. So I was getting recruited, and my dad, even my senior year when I wasn't playing, and right after I graduated, my dad was still getting emails from like coaches and scouts. Hey, we'll give you a full ride. Just come be our third string. Hey, come do. And I had just, unfortunately, playing in high school, I had kind of like lost the love for playing. And I mean this nicely. The coaches were just a-holes and didn't make it fun for me. So that led to my decision not playing. Aside from the fact that I believe quarterback is the hardest position to play, and it was also really hard for me. And I knew I wasn't going to play in the NFL, but I wanted to play college football. But yeah, I never ended up playing. Even going into my freshman year of college, 3-4 months in, I was still getting emails from scouts. Hey, I know you have limited film, but come out. I want to take you on a visit. And I didn't want to. And that's kind of how I went about it.
Man,
So.
Tom Brady, this guy right here.
Yeah, it's crazy that everyone like gets their nicknames and everything. So my like first summer practice, 14-year-old kid, I'm out there. I throw like a corner route to Malik. Everyone's like, oh, this white boy can throw. He's white. He's a quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Let's call him Tom Brady, right?
Tom Brady.
I kid you not. Kids thought my name was Brady. Like kids,
I thought your name was Brady.
kids thought my name was Brady. And one time, like my sophomore, junior year, we're in the locker room and we're doing like some sort of roll call or something for like max preps to get your height and weight. And Coach Mathis says like Christian Jacobs, and like all the players are like,
Who is this, bro?
who the is Christian Jacobs? And I'm like, and people were like, I thought your name was Brady. People had no idea my name was Christian Jacobs, but
I am guilty. I'm one of those people. I knew you exclusively for like a couple years only by Tom Brady.
so
They're like, who's this guy? I'm like, that's Tom Brady, bro. What do you mean? That's Brady.
So was there like an aha moment of when you figured out my name wasn't Tom Brady?
When we went to the camp in
FCA?
No.
In like Daytona or something, or somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there. Yeah, on the coast.
When we went to that camp, that's when I was like, oh, okay.
Dad, did you know his name isn't Brady?
Your name is actually Christian Jacobs. I just didn't know I knew that wasn't your real name.
Yeah.
But I mean, boys we just bond off of.
Yeah.
I don't even need to know your name to be cool with you.
Exactly.
So I was like, Tom Brady's better than no name.
Yeah.
So I call people bro and dog all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's his name? I'm like,
That's
that's my dog, man. Like, what do you mean? I don't need to know his name. I know him.
I didn't know Squeeze's name. I knew it was like
I didn't know Squeeze's name was Candelario.
I thought that was his last name.
Squeeze Candelario.
Yeah, I didn't know. And then X, I knew. I was like, that's probably Xavier. Briggs, I thought that was his first name. Then you started calling him Dennis. I was like, that don't sound right.
Dennis Briggs.
Yeah.
Guy in Illinois.
Yeah. Who else had like some nicknames? I'm trying to think.
Michael Klein's always sticks with me. We call him White Chocolate.
Yeah.
Because that man ran a crispy route.
Yeah.
All his routes look good.
Yeah.
He was slow.
Yeah.
But all his routes look good.
Bro, Bando.
Oh, yeah.
What was his actual name?
Damn. You said Bando, and the first thing that I thought of was DP, but that's not his name either.
Yeah, he's from Dr. Phillips.
His name is his actual last name is Obando, and his first name is. Oh my gosh. I'm not thinking the right person.
It's okay. It's fine.
When I remember it, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some other guys. Brian. Didn't we call him like Pacquiao sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. I can't really think. Yeah. That's all I got for nicknames.
Yeah. No, that's all we have for nicknames.
Yeah.
But once you get your nickname, it's stuck.
Yeah. You can't change
You're
it.
not changing
You
it.
can't. You can't.
No.
Guys, I want to be called
Oh, you know what?
We don't care.
Sunshine. He never played, but
Sunshine.
you remember that guy with long blonde hair?
No.
Yeah, there was a guy who was like
Sunshine.
another like very short guy. I won't say he's 5'2" because I don't want to be disrespectful. But he was tiny, and he was super skinny. He didn't play much, but he had long blonde hair, and he was always smiling.
Sunshine.
And they just called him Sunshine, bro. He was literally just a body that went out there for
special teams,
wanting to play.
Oh,
Wanting to be in, I guess, a community, because he didn't play at all. He was a body, but he was always smiling.
Sunshine.
He got the hair. White boy, skinny. Sunshine.
Was there ever a moment where you got like hit the hardest?
Yeah, my freshman year in practice, I got back when we could crack back people. I got cracked back at the end of a play. Whistle had already blown. Play was dead. I got hit by Deshaun.
I remember him. He played running back?
No, he played.
Or was it backer?
Linebacker.
Okay.
But he was another person with a loose screw in his head.
Yeah.
And he laid me out, bro, and I was out.
Yeah.
I played. That's how me and Alejandro became friends, because I got hurt that play, and coach, who was it that told me to keep playing? I was like, I'm getting out, coach. I'm hurt. And he was like, nah, you're going to keep. Coach Rob, he was like, you're all right, Hector. You're all right. So I was like, okay. This one, they had me at center. So scout team, snap the ball again, go. I get hit again, and I'm like, nah, something's wrong, bro. Something's wrong with my back. Something's wrong. Because we were in shells. So shells is just helmet and shoulder pads. And I didn't have a girdle or anything. He cleaned my clock. And so I went out. I laid down, and I told the trainer, I was like, I think I broke my butt bone, bro. I think it's a wrap. And I didn't practice the rest of that day. Damn. And that was probably the hardest I've ever gotten hit. The second hardest has to be the linebacker from Vero Beach.
During the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those guys were different. Like, they were getting grass-fed or something.
But what frustrated me was the guy that I thought was going to hit me the hardest in that game, their defensive end, he was a commit to Auburn. Jeez. He was not that nice. But that linebacker, I don't know what it was. I just remember it was a read play. I hit the D end a little bit, went straight to the linebacker, and that linebacker took 2 steps, hit me, and I dropped to a knee. Like I hit a wall. I promise you.
You took a knee.
I promise you.
Forgive me.
No.
We're trying to block you.
I took a knee, and all I remember was just holding on to him because Henry was right behind me. And so Henry put his hand in my back and pushed me forward. And the linebacker still ended up making the tackle.
Damn.
And I remember going to the huddle, and he was like, Henry, you're going to let that little linebacker do that to you? And I'm like, he's a wall, bro. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, he didn't move. I ran up to him. I promise you. I was moving as fast as I could. He just didn't move. Damn. That was the second hardest I think I've ever been hit.
Yeah.
How about you? Hardest you've ever been hit by a teammate, and then hardest you've ever been hit in a game?
By a teammate is by DP Urbando.
Okay, yeah.
It was during our black and silver game. Well, was it? I think it was him. Honestly, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was him. But it was black and silver game. It was like zebra down. I pull it. So it was a read option. I pull the ball. I run. I'm at the second level, and I get hit. I don't know by who. And I just on my back. And I lose all the air in my lungs and can't breathe for like 20 seconds. And I wouldn't wish that upon everyone. I literally thought I was going to die. I was like, I am dead. Like, it's over. I cannot breathe for some reason. Like, you just can't breathe. Like, you try and... But, like,
there's
can't.
No air coming in.
You literally cannot breathe. I don't know how else to explain it. So that was the hardest by a teammate. To be honest, I'm blessed to never have been really hit that hard. I'll say this, my most memorable hit was against Ridge Community.
Okay. Some big boys.
And this was my junior year. This was like I had mentioned when Maurice and I would sometimes switch. We were down by like 21, 24 points. they benched Maurice and they put me in. And I have the film of it, and I'll give Adam a hard time sometimes because the reason I got this hit was because Adam got tossed to the ground. So the ball, they snapped the ball. I drop back, and I see this guy bull rush me. So what happened is Adam came off the ball. The guy just went, just threw Adam to the floor. Just threw him on the floor. He falls on the floor. So I see him. I escape, and I run like 20 yards downfield. Then the safety comes, and I'm like, I haven't played in like a game or two. I'm not going to run out of bounds. So I lower my shoulder, and and he like flies back. I spin off of him, and I think it was like Jaleel or like someone else. They come in, like as I'm about to fall over, they like help pick me up. And then the safety comes and then like
takes your ankles,
takes out my feet. And then I fall. And as I do that, everyone on the sideline's going crazy. And I get up and I'm like, what just happened? Like, what the heck just happened? I was like, I can't believe I just did that. And then we end up scoring. And I go to the sideline. I'm standing with Maurice and Coach Mathis. And he goes, man, that was a nice hit. I was like, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. He goes, was that your throwing shoulder? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, don't ever do that again. I'm like, all right.
Tom Brady used to run people over. Don't let him fool you, man.
One time I ran over Tristan in practice.
I remember a couple times you ran some people over in a game too. Yeah. Great times.
I used to have the hit stick on me.
Great times.
I may not,
and you would never know when it was coming.
Right.
Like, you never knew if he was going to try and get those extra yards or not.
Yeah.
But anytime you got some steam behind you, I was like, all right, he's gonna put his shoulder down.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop somebody.
I loved it. As weird as this sounds, I loved getting tackled. I don't know, it just felt different, and I loved hitting people and getting tackled. I didn't like tackling people, but like I liked getting hit.
That contact.
Yeah, something about it just felt good.
Luke, if you're watching this, Luke is our quarterback that we have now.
Really?
This is who we need you to be like.
Luke.
Tom Brady. Don't be afraid of contact. Don't be afraid of contact.
But if there's someone that's like 6'5", 280, just
be
slide.
smart.
Just slide. Just make a business decision, Luke. Come on.
Yeah, be smart.
Yeah.
Be smart.
What's the score?
I don't know. I think Texas just scored again.
Again? So 21-3?
I think so.
Ooh, okay.
They either scored or they're on the 5-yard line right now.
Okay. So my next question or topic here. So how did you get into coaching, and how was that transition?
Honestly, it was something that I think God just put in my lap. I was not necessarily like out looking for a coaching position, but I had some stuff happen where I had some time on my hands. And so my sister actually goes to this high school.
Okay.
And she had told me that their whole coaching staff had done an entire revamp. Like basically everybody left, right? We do have a couple coaches that came back, right? But for the most part, a lot of the coaching staff was gone. And so for better or for worse, I'm not familiar with the situation, but that door opened. I told her to, because she's one of the trainers, I told her to let the head coach know, hey, if they ever need help with the offensive line, like, I'd love to help out. And so I went for the spring, coached up this spring, fell in love with it, and it is a little bit of a drive for me. So I didn't think I would be able to do it, but the head coach there, Coach Morris, he was like, hey, man, if you can make it, we'd love to have you. And so we were able to work some things out that, I can do it with work and still be able to go and help them out. And so now we're there. Mm-hmm. And I'm still trying to get the ropes of it, just because my first time coaching. And so it's different, but I love it. Like I really enjoy it. I enjoy just being that presence for those kids, and hopefully, not only making them better, but allowing them to make me better as a person. Like I'm seeing even now, like 2 weeks in, like, damn, I shouldn't speak to them like that, or I need to talk to them in this kind of way, or like, this kid doesn't learn like that. How can I help him become the best version of himself? Or this kid might not want to go to college, but what can I show him that he can use throughout life.
Right.
Because that was a big thing for me was coaches. Even though I didn't play football in college and I'm not in the NFL, football, high school football molded how I view the rest of my life. Like it even molded my work ethic to a degree.
100%.
And so just being able to have that impact, know that I can have that impact on them if God so chooses me to have it, is just, it motivates me. Apart from the whole, football gets me fired up, just being on the sideline, being in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun transition into that new chapter for sure.
Yeah, I one thing I can really appreciate from, high school is the coaches definitely trying to push you to be the best that you can be, but also give you like little keys to like life lessons and stuff like that. And that's something in the moment I noticed, but didn't really appreciate till later. And one thing I agree with you and can relate is like, it also helped with my work ethic and everything. Cause, it helps you realize how hard you need to work to go to the next level. And it's not just practice once, twice a week and you'll get there. It's practicing every day, 5-6 days a week, weight room, watching videos, getting a positions coach, like all that stuff. But it really does push you. And that's something that I think I want to eventually get into some sort of coaching. I've definitely been thinking about it.
Yes, sir.
But for you, I have a question. Since you've talked about how you have to adjust how you teach certain kids because they don't learn this way, what have the kids taught you in this short time?
I think a big thing that they've taught me most recently is how to control my emotions.
Okay.
One thing that they're teaching me currently is how to control my emotions. And I think God's kind of like just putting up a mirror right now. Because second week was not this Friday, but last week for us. And it was a bad loss. And it was a game where I saw that the morale in the team, they were just defeated really early. And so where the coaching staff there, I believe that the coaching staff that Coach Morris has put together are just, they have a culture of winning. Like they played at Apopka when they won the state championship. Most of them, if not all of them, played some sort of collegiate ball. So, and even a few of them played Division I collegiate ball. So it's not just that they are like me who are football knowledgeable, but they've been in it. They know what it is to win. They know what it is to have a culture of winning. And so they know what they need to demand of the kids. But I don't think the kids have believed in themselves as much as we believe in them. And I think that's a story for all high school sports.
Yeah.
Like the coaches always believe in the kids more than they believe in themselves. But this game really showed that. And I let my frustrations get the better of me. And so one thing I try not to do is I try not to curse just at all, right? Even though it's a part of football culture and it's just how people get fired up and stuff like that, I still try to refrain from that just so people can see, hey, you can get fired up and not need to use that kind of language.
Right.
In that game, all that language came out, like all of it. I just didn't know how to. I felt like I was doing a bad job at connecting the dots for them, and that the only way that I could connect those dots was by using that type of language.
Gotcha.
And so one thing that I've learned since then is, hey, you don't need to speak like that to get your point across.
Yeah.
And so you don't need to also, you being myself, right? I don't need to get as hyped to show them what I need them to do. And so that's something that hopefully going into this week, God allows me to put under control a little bit more. And as I continue to coach, I can continue to be that good example for them of like, hey, we could get hyped, but we're here to handle business. We're not here to get over emotional because that's when we make mistakes. And we're not here to like overhype everything. Like,
Yeah.
we came here with a job to do. Let's do it. Let's handle business. We practice every day of the week for this moment. So let's go get paid. Let's go home, come back next week and do the same thing. So that's a big thing I think they've taught me, is just a little bit more emotional self-control, as well as like holding my tongue.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That you coaching is also wanting you to better yourself as well. And I mean, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
So, but that's awesome. So are you the only offensive line coach?
So it's positionally, yes. But I do have a couple other people that go over there and watch with me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our head coach, Coach Morris, is also an offensive lineman. So that's like his baby.
Gotcha.
Which I felt very honored for him to kind of allow me to have full control over that. You know, he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And so to know that, or to trust me enough to be like, hey, I'm going to go and watch the team, and I trust you with my offensive line, was a big step for me. So he'll come over every once in a while and kind of just oversee, make sure that we're blocking everything. We're doing drills that'll help the scheme that we run.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have our tight ends coach, Coach Canty. He is also there with us for the offensive line. And then Coach G. I'm not going to butcher his last name, but we call him Coach G.
Mm-hmm.
He's also over there with me, that helps kind of watch all the kids. Because that's another thing that is a learning curve for me, is we practice together, JV and varsity. So we've got 20 offensive linemen.
Sheesh.
So 20 offensive linemen and not a lot of time. So I'm trying to go through drills for my varsity players because I want them to make sure that they're ready for Friday night. But I also don't want these other kids to feel like, hey, you're just out here to put on pads and like take up space. So
yeah.
It's finding a way to get everybody included, even those kids who are not as talented or skilled or knowledgeable about the game. It's building them up so that in a couple years, when they get to varsity, it's not such a big learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
So week by week, I get a little bit more structured as far as, okay, I'm getting the timing down. I know how I want to rotate throughout these drills and stuff like that. But day by day, I'm trying to get that better. But yeah, I have a group of people that help me out, and it's a beautiful thing. It's fun.
So how do you prep for like practices? Like, do you go online, look for certain drills?
Yeah, so I've watched, because I didn't play Division I football, but I want to prepare them to get recruited. One of my personal goals as a coach is to get at least an offer for all of my offensive linemen. Doesn't matter what college, I just want to get them offers, give them the opportunity, right? I watch a lot of coaching clinics. So my YouTube is filled with actually the offensive line coach for Texas. He has a lot of great, I think his name is Kyle Flood. He has a lot of great coaching clinics on blocking schemes for offensive linemen. Another one is the Oregon offensive line coach, or he was the offensive line coach at Oregon. He's got a lot of good coaching clinics. So Washington, I've watched the Huskies go through some drills. Where did Jordan Love come out of? ND?
Utah State?
No. And then not Jordan Love.
Carson Wentz?
And it's
North Dakota State University?
Yeah, NDSU. They have a few little like drills. Alabama has some that I've watched. But I like to see how they practice.
Yeah.
And then mimic that.
Okay.
Just because I want to make sure that we're getting as close to a college ball practice as we can, right? We don't have the time. We're not practicing 2-a-days. We don't get as much, time with the kids as they do, obviously at the next level. But in the time that I do have them, I want them to feel like this is going to help me on the football field. We're not just doing drills just to do drills, but there's a progression. That's another big thing when I'm planning practice is how does this drill fit with the next drill?
Okay.
And so Monday might be inside run practice.
Yeah.
And so for all of our indie period, I'll do inside run. Tuesday might be outside run period. And for all of my indie, I'll do outside run. Then Wednesday or Thursday, we'll do pass pro. And like that'll be Thursday's usually pass pro, no pads. I can work on your set and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is usually like a double team practice. We'll work double team to the next level, or pulling. Make sure that we pull a lot. We run a heavy power offense, so we'll practice pulling. All the players learn how to pull just in case we need to plug and play. But I try to keep it as structured as possible.
Mm-hmm. How often, or what's the times that you guys practice after school?
So our schedule is weird. We practice Monday and Tuesday. We'll practice from like 6 p.m. to 8:30.
That late?
Yeah.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason that we do that is because the temperature.
Okay.
So the temperature has been a big reason for us not practicing. And in order to avoid having an issue with the temperature, right? Because we live in Florida, it's just hot, is by practicing at night. And so they leave school from 2:30 to like 4:30. They come back, they get taped. We'll have film, which is awesome. We do film every day.
Nice.
So we film practice, which is crazy, right? We'll film practice. We got a drone and all that. Is
my bad.
Right?
My fault.
So these kids don't know how lucky they are.
Bro, what?
We didn't have no practice film. But we've got a drone that watches everything for our entire practice except for Indy. And then we'll recap either previous days, practice film, opponent scout, game film, whatever. And then after that, we'll go to practice. And so we'll do like our team stretch, Indy, all that fun stuff. And then Wednesdays, we have practice right after school. So 3 p.m. We have which is weird, we have our JV games on Wednesday.
Right. So, yeah, go ahead.
Right? Thursday was our JV. Anyways, so we have JV games on Wednesday. And then Thursday is, walkthrough,
right after
game
school?
day. Yeah, right after school.
Okay.
This is a short practice. We're going out and unless they've had a bad week of practice, we're going out in a helmet, running through special teams, making sure all the players know the plays, like the game plan, right? I think one thing that I didn't appreciate, I don't know if Gateway did it, but one thing I can appreciate this coaching staff does is they're big on preparation. So Sunday afternoons, we'll have offense and defensive meetings. We'll watch our opponent scout from the week before, and we'll have all our plays drawn up. So we know what we're going to run for our first down. We know what our drive starters are going to be, our third and shorts, third and longs, goal line, backed up calls. We have all of those hot calls basically ready. And so that's a big thing that I've had to adjust to is, okay, it's not just go out and coach the kids up, but I need to be able to know the game plan and know how to articulate that game plan to the kids so that they can understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. Because if you don't know why we're doing something, you're going to mess it up. But if you can understand why we're doing or what we're doing and why we're doing it, the game goes a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really appreciate about this staff.
That's awesome. Bro, that makes me want to get into coaching.
Dude, it's honestly, it's great. And I hope that it becomes more and more gratifying as we continue to build that relationship, because I'm doing it in a place where I don't know anybody. So I have to build that relationship from scratch with not only the coaching staff, but the players. And so as the weeks go by, as the practices goes by, I can feel like the players are buying in more, you know. I'm understanding the scheme a little bit better. I'm meshing with the coaches a little bit better as well. And so we're all learning each other. And that only helps create a winning atmosphere.
Yeah.
And again, back to that point of being able to influence, be a positive influence to these kids. They're the next generation.
Yeah.
And so if I can get them young when we were reckless in high school, right? If we can be that light for them at that time, how much more could they do than we were able to do?
Yeah.
Just because one person said one thing at the right time. So you should do it or look into it, man.
I've been so the thing is like so I play quarterback. So when I'm sitting there watching football with my dad on Sundays, watching the Dolphins play, I know I don't know the actual plays, but I can stand there and I'll say, "Oh, this is an outside run," or I can say, "Oh, it's going to be an in route. If they throw the in route to the tight end, it's going to be a first down," and it'll happen. And he's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, I could just look at the formation. I can see like who's lined up where. If someone's in motion, I know if they're in man or not. I can see, the TV or the camera doesn't really show like the top of the safeties and exactly, but I can tell. And he's like, "Man, you're so good. Like, you should get into like broadcasting and all this stuff." And since I do YouTube and have a podcast, I've been itching to like even just do like some sort of broadcasting or something, or commentating, or like an analyst, because man, I love football so much.
You could do it now.
Just as much as you do. No, I'm not gonna do it for this.
No, not for this game, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
share the screen and put a little box up, go
Right.
live. YouTube has live, right?
Yeah.
Go live on YouTube. I don't know if they'll let you
So
run a game in your like in the background, but I don't know if they'll get you like reported or something.
Yeah, I can't do that, but I could do play-by-play where I have it off, not on the screen, but I'm watching it, and then I could give like play-by-play and what's happening. This other guy, I've been on his podcast before, but he does baseball play-by-play.
Okay.
So I've kind of looked at that and been like, man, I kind of want to do that, to be honest. But I wish I would have gotten like a degree in like sports or something, man. I got emergency management. I'm not a fan of college. I didn't want to go to college, so I had to pick something. That's a whole different discussion. Not in terms of like me hating my parents or anything. It's just I'm just not a fan of college. But yeah, so it is what it is. But coaching or something, I feel like I will enjoy it.
It's fun, man. Oh, man. It's fun. You don't need a degree. You played.
Yeah, and I've worked with kids before. I've done like summer camp and stuff. I did that for like 5 summers, so I know how to like work with kids and all that stuff. I mean, they're gonna be a little bit older, but
oh yeah,
I have that experience.
I appreciate it. The older kids. I love little kids, but I can't. I don't know. There's something about them that's like I can't coach them.
Yeah,
those are not the. That's not the demographic for me. I think high school kids are like the perfect sweet spot. Because one thing I'm very big on is intentionality. Same thing with my weight loss, man. Like when people ask me, how do I lose weight? I could tell you don't want to lose the weight. Like just based off the first thing that I tell you and your reaction, I can already tell that you're not that serious. And so being able to coach high school kids, I get to see one thing I do at least weekly is I ask them, I'm like, all right, so what's the goal? Like, do you want to go to college? And I genuinely ask them, I try to get them one-on-one, right? When they're getting water or something. And I ask them genuinely, like, I'm not going to be mad at you if you don't want to play college. I don't care, right? Like, it's your life. But I need to know because I need to know how to coach you.
right.
So if you don't want to go to college or if you don't have a winning mentality, I'm not going to say that that's bad, right? It's just, it is what it is for now. And so you're still out here. There's obviously something that's bringing you out here.
Yeah.
So we need to find out what that something is so that I can squeeze as much juice out of it, whether it be you want to show out for your family or for whomever's in the sidelines, like whatever it is. I want to be able to squeeze as much juice out of that so that you can reach your full potential.
Right.
And so that's been a big thing with these kids that I could do that I can't do with younger kids. Because the younger kid, they may know, but not all of them are worried about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of just something that parents put them in so that they're not being rebellious
Yeah.
or doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true. So the next thing I want to talk about is faith. I know you're big on your faith, big Christian, and you definitely trying your best to live Christ like we all are. Not to
Amen.
say you're not, but talk about how much your faith has really impacted your life and just helped you, even with your weight loss as well.
Yeah. So, one big thing that I'd like to say first is, none of us walk like Christ. We try.
Right.
All right. We try, but none of us can do it. Right. And that's why we need Jesus.
Amen.
Because if it wasn't for him, we'd be useless. We are useless.
Yeah.
And so that reassures me in times that I feel like I'm falling short, which is a lot, right? Because I didn't grow up in church. So we had FCA and all that fun stuff. But I tell people that I kept God as like my back pocket prayer. Like I was out there in the world doing a whole bunch of stuff I shouldn't be doing. But I never really looked at God as Jesus Christ, right? Until about 2.5 years ago now, where I decided to intentionally follow the Lord and really just try to dive headfirst into his word and into his teachings and the life that he has for all of us, right? But yeah, I wouldn't say it helped for my weight loss journey in the sense that it's helped me now.
Okay.
But it did help me before I even knew him. And I'll elaborate on that. The discipline that I needed in order to lose the weight is the same discipline that I need in order to follow Christ. And so even though I didn't know it at the time, God was preparing me for something much more difficult than just losing weight.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, like losing weight is easy when you're talking about helping someone see the truth or being the reason that somebody's introduced to Jesus. Like that's way harder than losing 100 pounds. And so if I could be disciplined in losing that weight, then I can also be disciplined in seeking after God's face and publicly being a voice for God, even as a sinner or somebody who falls short. I think God was very funny in how he allowed my life to play out, because during that time, I still didn't really know God. I was big on like manifestation. I could do it myself, especially from football. Like, I don't need no help. I could do this myself, right? Weight loss easy, life easy, all that stuff. But I got to a point where I was like, nah, this is way too hard. I'm not equipped enough to do it myself. And so I remember it like it was yesterday. I was out on my back porch and I was like, all right, God, if you're real, now's the time. Like, I'm going to follow you, but you need to make yourself real. Like, you have to prove yourself to me almost, right? Very arrogant of me to say, but it came from a genuine place. And I know God saw that. And, God revealed himself to me slowly but surely through his word. I did a lot of research. I don't have a lot of blind faith, which I applaud people who just grew up Christian and like they truly believe Jesus Christ is their Lord. Like I applaud that. It could never be me. I need to see why.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of research on the historical evidence of Jesus, the historical evidence of his deity. I tried to find, discrepancies in the Bible. I tried to discredit the Bible. I looked into other religions, and I mean, God is God, Jesus is Lord. Like that was the conclusion that I came to. And so we're here now, kind of just can't shut up about him. That's my big thing is I try to talk to as many people about him as I can, man. That's how I live my life now, is just as a sinner, but still glorifying his name, because he's done so much for me and I know what he could do for other people. I just want them to know, right? Just like I want my kids to have the opportunity to go to college. Like, I want to get them on offer just so they have that doors like open and they see it's a reality. That's kind of the same approach I have talking to people about Jesus. Like, I just want you to have the information.
Yeah.
What you do with it, that's on you, right? And what God does in you with that information is on you. But as long as I can give you the information, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Jesus and just being a Christian is a blessing, and it's indescribable at times. Like, the same way I described myself losing my breath, I can't give you that feeling without you experiencing it.
Yep.
And I feel the same way with my relationship with Christ. Like, I wish like I could put it in a bottle and just give you a simple answer, but I can't. And I wish you could feel the relationship that I have with Christ, but I can't give you that feeling. Like, you have to feel it for yourself. And having that relationship is so crucial. And it's awesome, man. And sometimes, like, my relationship with God too is like a little bit, because I like joking around a lot. And sometimes God will joke with me, and dude, I'll just start busting out laughing. Like, I'll never forget this one time, maybe like a year ago.
God's funny, man.
Maybe like a year ago. This is just one instance. I was cutting the grass at my parents' house. And I was listening to some like rap song, and in the back of my mind, it was like, change the song. There's a Christian song next. And I'm like, what? Change the song. So I'm like, no, like, I like this song.
I like this song.
Right. And then a minute and a half goes by, and I'm like, all right, I'll change the song. I change the song. And the next song is The Weeknd, and it says, too late. Bro, you cannot tell me that's not from God. Like, bro, I have so many instances like that are just like,
but he said too late.
Yeah,
sorry.
Like little funny jokes. Like, and I love that. That just proves to me that I know God is real. I know Christ is real in there. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed. I'm not about to cry, but
Amen.
The Holy Spirit just like talks to me, bro. Like, oh man, it's just so, it's awesome.
What a crazy thing to say.
Right?
That the God who created the universe talks to you and talks to me.
Yeah.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, we're nothing.
Yeah.
Right? We're dust. And still God finds the time. Let me reword that. And still God has the time to speak to you in your personal life and speak to me in my personal life. And one of the things that my church was actually, the church that I attend, my church, New Birth, was preaching about, Pastor John was preaching about a couple weeks ago, was how God will speak to us in ways that we understand.
Yes.
And so the same way that he speaks to you, he might not speak to me, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't speak to me. It just means that it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so just like the example that my pastors used, and an example that I see just in the Bible, is how God appeared to Moses in a burning bush. Well, to us, we see that and we're like, no, duh. Like, of course, everybody would think there's something wrong with that. But what Moses noticed was that the bush wasn't being consumed, which means it just wasn't burning up. We would see a burning bush and keep walking.
Yeah.
Because we're not shepherds. We don't see that. We don't care about bushes, right? But Moses, somebody who cares about bushes, cares about his flock. He's a shepherd. He sees this stuff every day, as far as like the scenery, right? He sees that it's not shriveling up and dying, and he goes, maybe I'll go over there.
Yeah.
And as he's going over there is when God literally speaks to him.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a beautiful thing. Like, damn, God will speak to each of us in our own unique and small way. And we all have our own language with God. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. I've known that God speaks to us in different ways based on how we are. But up until now, until you said it, I didn't really like put that together. Like, I knew of it, but it's not like I just didn't put it together. But that's an awesome point. I love that. And I'm always having the outlook of like, it's God's plan, man. You know, even if something goes wrong, as humble as I try and say this, I harp on it for like a minute or two, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, God's got a plan for me. I need to trust him. Like, it's okay. And I'll give an example. So over the last like 2-3 weeks, I've been like I started taking like pictures and videos at like high school football games. And I went to Toho's Kickoff Classic, and I was on the sideline taking pictures. The coaches allowed me to go on, but it was an away game.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't need a field pass or a media pass or anything. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Toho's home kickoff, wherever it was, or in Toho, sorry. Their home game. And I reached out to Andrew that I had on the podcast previously. I was like, hey, since it's your home game, is there some sort of like field pass I need? Do I need to talk to the athletic director? Like, what do I need to do? And he's like, okay, let me talk to my head coach. And the head coach said that like I'm good to take pictures, but you would need a field pass. So reach out to the athletic director of Toho. So I'm like, cool. So I emailed the Toho athletic director, and basically he's like, there's this new lawn place. Sorry, I can't help you. Like, kind of just cut me short.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, you know, can you point me in the right direction? No response. So then I emailed the county athletic director, and I'm like, hey, explain the situation. How can you point me in the right direction? Can you help me? So he's like, well, since you want it for Toho, I just called Toho High School, and I talked to the athletic director there, and since he told you no, I have to tell you no. So I'm like, man, all right, whatever.
Dang.
So I'm telling Andrew all this, and he's like, man, all right, just, you know, I'll keep trying. So I email a couple other people, and eventually I go to the game, but I'm just in the stands in the general admission taking pictures, and I couldn't figure anything out. So then I'm like, you know what? Let me email Coach Logan or message Coach Logan from Gateway. So I DM him, and I'm like, explain the situation. Can you help me? Can you point me in the right direction? He's like, email Coach James. Here's his email. So I'm like, cool. So I email Coach James, explain the situation. And as this is happening, I tell Andrew, I'm like, yo, I've reached out to someone else. Could you go talk to the athletic director and see if, you know, just talking to him face to face will help nudge him in the right direction to give me a field pass?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to the athletic director, and the athletic director is like, no, get away from me. Like, pretty much like telling a 17-year-old kid off, like, get the F away from me. And he's like, bro, he's such an a-hole. I'm like, bro, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, some people are like that. God's got a plan for him. I'm like, don't worry, bro. I know you're upset because, you know, you feel bad for me, but God's got a plan. Do not worry. So eventually the next day, Coach James and Logan tell me that they have an in-person meeting, a monthly meeting, with the county athletic director the next day. So I'll talk to him.
Fire.
So I text Andrew back. I'm like, told you, bro. God's got a plan. Don't worry. So all that to say, trust in God.
Amen.
Even when I kept getting shut down, I was sure for like the first minute or two, I was like, damn, like, I just want to get on the field. I just want to field pass. No one's helping me out. I was like, it's okay. God's got a plan for me. So
I got to find out how to get you on the field in Osceola County, because I know somebody who does photography for OHS and Harmony.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's a way to get, and he doesn't go to those schools. So I know there's a way to get on there for multiple schools. And I think he did it for Celebration too. Shout out RJ. But I'll talk to him and see how he does it, just to see if that helps you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if because he does baseball, so maybe it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to a lot of games. Like that photography is his thing. Like that's his career, photography, videography. That's what he does. And so, I don't know. Maybe he'll be able to help you out. I'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Logan also told me, Logan was in the room with Coach James, and I was like sending him voice messages, explaining the situation.
hey, tell the AD, let me get on the field.
Yeah. So, what Coach James told me was that in the meantime, while he goes and talks to the county AD, go online and fill out like a volunteer application.
Okay.
To get like background screened and all that stuff. So I did that, and on the like application, I'll call it, was like a bunch of different Osceola County schools. So I selected 5 schools: Toho, Harmony, Celebration, Osceola, and Gateway.
Fire.
So if and once I get screened, that next step will give me access to those schools. So that way I don't need approval from the Toho athletic director that doesn't want to approve me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You're just going to show up to the game.
I'll be like, yo, look.
See this pass?
Yeah.
See this form? Sorry, buddy.
Can't stop me now.
I'm getting in. And I'm getting in for free.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Well, if you get there early enough before they have admission.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I try and get in for free, but I get in there to take pregame stuff. They're not there with the admission stuff. So I get in for free.
Get in early.
Yeah. So in terms of everything else, or forget what I just said. Next topic I want to talk about is NFL.
Okay.
The NFL season is back. I'm so excited. So I've been an NFL fan, I mean, my whole life. I didn't really start watching until about 2010, 2011. Last season was the most excited I had ever been for an NFL season than Kickoff. And this is second to that. I love football so much. But Kickoff game was the Ravens-Chiefs. That was the most viewed NFL kickoff game of all time.
Was it really?
29 million views.
Sheesh.
And that's just one single like viewer. It doesn't account for, if we're watching here, it's 2 of us, not 1.
Oh, that's just screens.
That's just screens.
Ooh, yeah.
So could have been a lot more. But yeah, we're back. How do you feel about the new like offensive tackle alignment rules? Did you watch the game when Chris Collinsworth was explaining it?
Not when he was explaining it. I don't know. One of the things that threw me off, though, at the start of the season was the kickoff.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing that threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think I get what they're trying to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know.
I like it, to be honest, because it will promote more returns. Last season, I believe it was 22 or 28% of kickoffs were returned. In the preseason, it was 70%.
Damn. Okay.
So we're already seeing an increase in that. So yeah, the 2 things I like about it is, 1, it's a little safer because you're not running 30 yards apart full speed at someone, trying to just knock them over.
True.
Right. So that's safer there. And 2, I think there's a little bit more strategy to it in terms of your kicker has to either kick it out of the end zone or kick it into the landing zone, which is the 20-yard to the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that because if you want them to return it, you just got to kick it between the 20 and there. And if you don't want them to return it,
You just boot it.
you got to boot it out. But you got to do that every single time. And let's say your team scores 5 times a game. You have to really boot the ball 5 times a game. It's not easy to kick it that far, that hard. So it'll really, I don't want to say take a toll on your leg, but you'll really have to emphasize as a kicker to kick the ball out of the end zone. So yeah, what don't you like about it?
It's not necessarily that I don't like it. It's just different.
Different.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just seeing the lineup is like completely different. And I think now they have to declare onside kicks.
Yes.
That I don't like.
I agree with that. That
only
is
because,
stupid.
Yeah, only because I think the point of an onside kick is like
Catch them off.
to catch them off guard. And so having to declare that kind of defeats the purpose of a surprise
I agree.
like that.
And you can only do it in the 4th quarter.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that
stupid.
either. Yeah. What is the offensive alignment
Okay.
rule now that they have?
So I'll show you. So let's say this is the center.
Uh-huh.
This is the guard, like the front of the guard. How they line up a little bit further back, like right here. And then the tackle lines up like here. So you see how it like goes back more?
Yeah.
So as the center, when you're like bending over, your like hip or like belt line
Is a line.
has to be aligned with the center's head. Or the left tackle's head. Or left or right tackle's head. Because what some tackles will do is they'll just line up here.
Yeah.
So that way you can get more distance.
Yeah. You get
Easier
your
to block.
shell easier.
Yeah, exactly. So they're eliminating that by calling, because they threw a lot of illegal formations.
I did see that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I did see the Chiefs defensive tackle literally line up like a 3 yards in the freaking backfield.
Yeah, Chris Jones was all the way in there. Yeah, I saw that.
But at least, okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
To their hip.
It makes sense. I like it. Now, you can still, as a tackle, you can still line up back here. You just have to lean
Your head just has to be on the head.
before the ball snaps. So it
I'm
helps
not mad at that.
enforce the rule a little bit more, but it's not a drastic change. It's
Yeah.
more of a fair playing field.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that.
Yeah.
You're getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You could get into your kick
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's not going to. And if you can't, then we won't pay you.
Yeah. But yeah, Chiefs, they look good. They look good. Xavier Worthy, first NFL touch was a touchdown. That's crazy.
That man is fast.
Yeah, bro.
On a sweep.
Yeah. The fastest 40-yard time in NFL Combine history.
He had 2 touchdowns, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a
Receiving and a rushing.
yeah.
He looked good, man. The Chiefs look good.
Yeah.
The Chiefs look good. Lamar Jackson.
He looked good.
He looked good. I wanted him to pull it out.
Yeah, he almost did.
I really did want him to pull that win out, but
close.
it was a great game.
It was.
It was a great game. Both games were great
Yeah.
games. Even yesterday's game,
Yeah.
the Eagles and the Packers game was an amazing game.
It started off kind of bad. I'm not
Rocky.
gonna lie. I was like, yeah, this is.
Not
I
gonna
might
be
have
a
to turn
game.
this off. Yeah, but it turned out good.
They were both running. They were both running the ball at will.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it. Like, just seeing big dudes open hole, 10, 12 yards carry. Saquon Barkley looked like a whole new running back.
Yeah,
that
bro.
guy. Oh, poor Giants fans. You guys really blundered that one, brother. You guys really blundered that one. Your season was already over, and now it's definitely over. Because Saquon Barkley's not slowing down, and they have a rookie right guard, and I think a rookie center, or at least a new center.
Wow.
The Eagles. So
Oh yeah. You're
their
right.
center and their right guard are new to the offense in some sort of capacity,
Mm-hmm.
and they were still able to
Move the ball.
move the ball.
Yeah.
They're not able to do the tush push as effectively, which I'm happy about.
Oh, me too.
But that just shows the greatness of Jason Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
But they can still run the ball.
Yeah.
And they got weapons.
Yeah.
Galore. AJ Brown, thank you for a 32-point
Nice,
fantasy showing.
nice.
I appreciate it. Mostly all in the second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, their weapons are. They're going to be a scary team. I don't think Jalen Hurts is an amazing quarterback, but
I agree.
he's got so many options now that they're going to be really dangerous.
Yeah. Saquon looked good, man. I have him in fantasy. I picked him up in like one of my leagues and 3 touchdowns. They should have given him the 4th, bro. But they wanted to do the stupid tush push. And then Saquon lost a yard because he recovered the fumble.
Yeah. Fumble. Listen, not being able to get a yard
Yeah.
off a tush push says a lot for a team that had so much success doing that just a year ago.
Yeah.
Just a year ago. But, hey, it's in the trenches, man.
Yeah.
It's the trenches.
The only thing I don't like about the tush push is on offense, you can push your quarterback, your running back. You can push them. Can't do it on defense.
No?
No. So that's why I don't like it. Is because it's
They
just
can
not.
pull. No?
It's just not fair. No, you can't.
Mm.
Because on offense you're pushing, and then on defense it's just 1-on-1 across the board. Like you can't
Do
can't
anything.
push. Yeah, you can't do anything. That's why I don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of the tush push. It feels like just a cop-out
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
I like I think it's just because they do it so often.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like the play. I just don't like the repetitiveness of the play. Like, don't call that. I don't need to see you calling it 20 times a game or more realistically 8 to 10 times a game.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
They did it 2 times, obviously back to back on one drive, and then 2 times again back to back on another drive. Then did it at a goal line. I'm like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
Do run something else. Like,
Yeah.
run an actual play.
Uh-huh.
You're not gonna get it in.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with the Eagles specifically running that play, because that's like their signature play.
Mm-hmm. But now just hand it off to Saquon, man.
Yeah,
Just get an I formation or just get in the shotgun.
give it to Saquon.
Just give it to Saquon.
Give it to Saquon.
And the good thing about having Jalen Hurts is because you can, like, as you hand it off, do like some sort of like read option to hold that DN. Perfect.
Because Jalen Hurts can move.
Oh yeah,
he can move.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a really good team. They've got a really good. Their defense is pretty good. Their offense has a dumb amount of weapons. Tight end's a good tight end. Receiving core's a great receiving core. Running back's good. Quarterback's gonna get the job done.
Yeah.
And an offensive line that both their tackles are great tackles. Mm-hmm. Interiors a little bit, but that's all coaching up throughout the season. One game, right? And they were able to pull it out. So
then on the other side of the ball, Jordan Love might have like he tore something in his knee, whether it's MCL, meniscus. There's the video that I showed you of it. Like, did I send you that video?
I saw it. Like his knee pop.
Something tore. Something gave.
All right. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a dirty move, or what do you think about that play? Because when I saw it this morning, I didn't watch the full game. I stopped watching like middle of the third quarter. But when I woke up today and I saw the video, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's such a dirty play, such a dirty move." What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's clean. It's just football.
Thank you.
It's not like he was like purposely trying to hurt his knee. It's football.
He was just bringing him down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nah, it's football.
I'm like, man, he still had the ball. Jordan Love still had the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
He's an athletic player.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get both legs to bring him down. It just so happened that somebody was grabbing his legs and somebody came to push him over. It's just football.
Yeah. And even Adam, being a Packers fan, last night him and I after the game started playing Rocket League. Like he was like upset that he was hurt, but he didn't say anything about it being dirty. So even coming from a Packers fan, like,
yeah,
it was clean.
Your season is over.
Absolutely.
Packers.
Yep.
So
it is over.
Just pack it up. No pun intended.
They traded for Malik Willis too. And when they traded for him, I sent it to Adam. I was like, yo, this guy sucks. Why would you trade for Malik Willis? Now they got to go out and try and get like another quarterback.
I was about to say, who else do they have?
That's it. They only had the two quarterbacks. You could go out and get maybe like Jameis. He's on the block. I mean, that's as good as a quarterback you're going to get on the market right now, you know. Ryan Tannehill is still a free agent.
Is he really?
Yes.
He's an all right placeholder,
yeah,
I guess. Anywhere except for Miami, because when he's in Miami, he plays terrible.
Yeah.
But when he's anywhere else,
AFC Championship,
he looks like he's a freaking superstar.
Yeah.
Who? The Miami curse.
So you want to talk about the Dolphins then?
Not really. No, we can. The Dolphins just they're such a well-built team, but it feels like we're only good when we don't need to be. And when we need to be good, we don't understand that we need to play to our level.
Yeah.
Like we play, I don't know. I just go back to that Bills game last year and I'm like, neither of those games we should have lost.
Yeah.
And yet we just played no good.
Yep. I agree.
And then we overpaid Tua.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did, my man.
He's not a bad quarterback.
No.
But not.
Yeah. Not
worth that.
$55 million a year.
Not worth that contract, man.
But yeah, I don't know. In terms of our prediction, so I think the Jets are going to win the division. I'll say that. If Rodgers is healthy, I think there's no way they lose the division. I genuinely think the Jets are going to win the division. Then in terms of who's second, it's either us or the Bills. And I don't know if we can make the playoffs because of how stacked the AFC is. What are your thoughts?
So sad, man. I agree. And that's why it's so sad.
You think the Jets win the division?
Oh, I mean, I'll never say it out loud. I'll never say it out loud. I don't think Aaron Rodgers lasts the whole season, just to be honest with you.
You don't think he's going to last?
I don't wish injuries on anybody. I just don't think that he is. I don't think he's going to last, man. I don't think you come off of an Achilles injury and are 100% and are that old.
Okay.
And have to do so much. I don't think the Jets' offensive line is like the type of offensive line that Brady has.
Yeah.
Puts together, excuse me. I think they're just decent at best, and they're going to try to put all of it on Aaron Rodgers' shoulder.
Okay.
And I don't think he's in a place right now where he can muscle all of it. Now, I am a Dolphins fan, so maybe that's just Dolphins bias. But that's just what I see from him. I hope he doesn't last the whole season, because if he does, he's an amazing top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL when healthy.
Yeah.
But he's old, man.
Yeah.
He's getting up there. I mean, football old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if it's not them, I'm hoping it's us. I'm hoping this will be the year where we're like, everyone stays healthy, no stupid injuries, no freak accidents. We're good across the board, offense, defense. We're firing on all cylinders. We could just win our division and be good, and then get some playoff wins. I definitely think that we'll be in the playoffs this year. It's just what we do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think our team is – I think if we don't make it to the playoffs, something has got to change. Like, something serious has to change, because there's no reason that our team does not make the playoffs, at least even wild card.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? But we are in the AFC, which doesn't help.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to pay Tua, is because I wanted to give him, because he was going to make $25 million this year, which is
good money.
Yeah, on his rookie deal still. So I wanted to see him, what he would have done this upcoming season, because if we make the playoffs and we lose again, you don't got to pay him. Or if you do pay him, it's significantly less. So, yeah.
I was really hoping Skylar Thompson was good.
Yeah, me too.
I was really hoping, man, because he's got the build, like a bigger build.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. He likes to run.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. But his decision-making is not NFL ready yet. I think as long as he, like, puts his head down, continues to, like, put in the work, he'll be there. Because he just has the size and the build for it. But I don't think his reads are, like, fast enough. I think he panics too much. Maybe sometimes hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he should, and doesn't, like, when we want him to run, he doesn't run.
Yeah.
And when we don't necessarily want him to run, like, when there's something open, sometimes he'll just tuck it and go.
Yeah.
And so that's just decision making. It's much faster than the collegiate level, especially coming from Kansas State.
Kansas State, yep.
So it's a different monster.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give him grace. But Tua, for right now, we'll see tomorrow how he performs. Hopefully comes out like a new man.
We should win. We should win tomorrow by anywhere from like 7 to 10 points.
What's your record prediction for the Dolphins?
Dude, have you seen our schedule? The last, like, 8 games are insane. Like, insane.
I looked at it at the beginning of the season, and I probably cried a little bit, and then I haven't.
I cried a little bit. Let's see. Dolphins, ESPN. All right. Okay.
Dolphins.
So I've got it up here whenever you get yours.
Yeah, Jags, Bills, Seattle, WWW.
MiamiDolphins.com. No.
Yeah, for
so up until
we
the
play
bye
the Bills
week,
here
yeah.
in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a win.
So I think those first 5 weeks before the bye, we could start 5-0. I genuinely believe that. 4-1 at worst, because we always lose to the Bills. Tua is like 2-6 against the Bills in his career. So 4-1. I'll say 4-1.
They're gonna be a wreck though
Right.
in Miami. They're second week. They don't have Diggs. They're still trying to find.
Yeah.
They're gonna start finding themselves. Josh Allen, if we could put pressure on him, I don't think. Now I was watching your other podcast. You guys were putting Josh Allen pretty high on those top tier quarterback lists.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have him that high.
Okay.
Because he gets rattled and starts thinking he's a gunslinger.
Okay.
And starts throwing interceptions. So I think if we could get in his head early, Jalen Phillips, Chubb could put pressure on him. We'll be we'll be all right. Our corners are good enough to hold their own, especially with that pickup that we just got. Having the Bills safety now, somebody who's been reading Josh Allen in practice for the past however long he's been there.
That's right, Jordan Poyer.
I think that's a dub. And in Miami, we rarely lose to those teams in Miami, especially early in the season. I think, honestly, the game we'll lose is the Titans.
Yeah, we choked to them last year. I honestly, okay, so let's
There's
just
always
say
an easy game that we
lose. Okay, so we'll say 4-1.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Then bye week. Then we play Indy. I think we win that.
Yeah.
So 5-1. Then we play Arizona at home. I think 6-1. I think we win that, even though they have Marvin Harrison and Kyler.
I'll take that one.
I think we win. So that's 6-1. Then we play at Buffalo. This is in November. So do you want to say that's a loss?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 6-2, right? Yes, 6-2. Then we play at Los Angeles against the Rams. They've got a good defense, and they still have a good offense. I think that's a toss-up. I think two great teams who were both in the playoffs last year.
These are the games that I mean, though. Like, these are the games where we should come out and compete, but I don't know what it is. They just don't play to that level. I guess I'll have to see how the Rams come out this year.
Okay.
I'd probably count that as an L.
An L
for us, especially away. Yeah.
So 6-3. Then we play at home versus the Raiders, and we beat them last year.
Dub.
Okay, so 7-3. Then we play versus New England at home.
Dub.
10-3.
No.
9-3.
9-3.
8-3. 8-3.
Yeah, if we lose to New England either time this year, I'm gonna be in shambles.
Then we go to Green Bay at the end of November.
Yeah.
Without Jordan Love. If let's say he's out for the season, that's a W.
Snow game. I can't remember that. Right? They don't have an indoor stadium.
Malik Willis at quarterback though. But yes, they have an outdoor stadium. If Jordan Love is out,
when's the last time we played good in the snow? Never.
A year or two ago when we played at Buffalo towards the end of the season and we lost on a game-winning field goal. It was like 31-29.
That's my point. We lost.
Yeah, but it was a close game. But if Jordan Love isn't playing quarterback, the Dolphins win this game. You can't tell me that we lose to Malik Willis.
I don't think we should lose to. I don't think the Dolphins should lose to any of these teams based off talent, roster, on paper, right?
Uh-huh.
Genuinely on paper, the Dolphins have a better team than almost the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Almost the entire NFL.
I agree.
With maybe the 49ers ahead of them. And like arguably the 49ers could be a better team than them across the board. And the Chiefs being the better team. Like I wouldn't even say the Ravens across the board are a much better team than Miami is.
Fair enough.
And I wouldn't say the Rams are a much better team across the board than Miami. I wouldn't say any of these other teams on here are a much better team than Miami on our schedule. Not even the Texans. Texans or Browns are a much better team all around. Not even the Packers with Love, I think, are an all-around better team. It's just how we play in those times of year.
Yeah. That
always worries me. But yeah, I see your point. I think without Jordan Love, I would still honestly, in the snow, I would take the L.
You're saying L?
I'm saying L, yeah.
Okay. I'm going W, so that means 9-3.
4, 8, 10, 11.
Because whatever week it is,
yeah,
you
9-3.
I'm
9-4.
8-4.
8-4.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Then we play versus the Jets at home.
Dub.
You think it's a dub?
At home? Yeah, dub.
With the Jets in that defense?
We're in Miami.
Okay.
They're playing in the cold. We're in 90-degree weather. Anytime any of those up north teams come to Miami late in the season, I don't know. There's something that clicks.
Okay. I'll say dub as well. So then 10-3 on my end. Then we play at Houston.
9-4. That's going to be a good game. Maybe.
At Houston. I genuinely believe if the Dolphins are clicking, the Dolphins can win this game.
Yeah, I think coming off a win, a home win to the Jets, we win in Houston.
So then for me, that is 10-4 on my end.
Yeah, I'm 9-5. Or not?
No, I'm 10-3. No,
No,
I'm
10-4.
11-3.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah.
That's a dub.
Yeah, 11-3, and then I think we lose out. That's my opinion. So I think we finish 11-6 like we did last season.
11-6. All right, and I'm 10-7.
Do you think we lose out?
The Browns, honestly, is not a game that I'm like. I think it really. I think the Browns game depends on the 49ers game.
Okay.
And I think if we can pull off a close game, not necessarily win, but even if it's close with the Niners, we'll go into Cleveland and, like you said, if we're clicking, we'll win.
It's also
game
a cold
that-
game, though, too.
The game that really worries me is the Jets.
Yeah.
Last game of the season. Because I know that's going to be probably to win the division.
Yeah.
With massive playoff implications because we're in the AFC. And it's in the cold.
Yeah.
And we just don't do good in the cold, man.
Yeah.
We just don't do good in the cold. I'm hoping that something changes and, assuming we come off of an away win to the Browns, we can go into the Jets kind of like ready.
Yeah.
Mentally. But I don't know. That might be an L. That might be an L. That last game might be an L. I think the last three we go to 1-2.
Okay. So then we both have 11-6.
Yeah.
I think we go 11-6 or 10-7. That's my prediction. I think we could
Which is so crazy.
lose to the Jets again twice. I think that's possible.
It's crazy that we could go in 11-6.
And miss the playoffs.
And then we got the Cowboys over here talking about
Yeah.
they're the best team in the NFL. Or the Giants making the playoffs.
So let's do like a little playoff prediction bracket for you.
Okay.
So let's do your prediction for each division winner. So we'll start with the easiest division, the AFC West. Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. Who do you think wins that division?
Chiefs.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
That's the one. Then second division, AFC North, Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals.
I have a sneaky suspicion that Pittsburgh is going to be pretty good this year.
Okay.
I love the quarterback acquisition
Russell
that they
Wilson?
did of Russell Wilson and
Justin Fields.
there we go. Thank you. Of Justin Fields. And I think that's a super sneaky, just very calculated move by Mike Tomlin because Russell Wilson, everybody can say what they want about the man. He's a great quarterback.
I agree.
He's a great quarterback. He's been in the league for, I don't even know how long now.
14 years.
I'm about to
15?
say almost close to 2 decades now.
Yeah.
And has always been a high performer for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Denver was what it was. But a great leader and somebody who can teach another quarterback coming up. Justin Fields' skill is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what he did in Chicago, with that team, with no offensive line and a few weapons, arguably, right? I think that Russell Wilson starts, Justin Fields ends out the season. They have a pretty good season. I don't know if they're that much better than Baltimore or a healthy Cincinnati. Cincinnati's offensive line's not that good. Who's the quarterback for Cleveland?
Deshaun Watson. I'll say this. The Steelers went 11-6 last year with Kenny Pickett
That's what I'm saying.
and Mason Rudolph as their quarterback, and they only got better by getting Russell Wilson. So my prediction for that division was the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because if you look at their schedule, if you look at the Bengals' schedule, in terms of how difficult it is versus the Ravens, it is miles easier. So that is why I picked the Bengals to win that division.
Oh yeah.
Like, I honestly think their schedule's cake. I'm not gonna lie. Aside from their divisional games, playing
You
the
think they
Browns
beat
twice.
You think they beat the Ravens twice?
No, but I think they split. It's their
You think
divisional
they
game.
split?
Let's say they split their division games. They're 3-3. That's 3-3 right there. And then they have like one or two other hard games. Don't they play the Niners and the Chiefs or something?
Yeah, they play the Chiefs second week.
There you
That's
go.
a no. I mean,
What's the
Joe Burrows has his number. Has the Chiefs
he's
number.
like 3-1 against them.
Yeah, I love Joe Burrows, man.
And then what's another tough game on them that you think, okay, they could lose?
That we already said they're splitting the divisional games. I don't think they lose to the Chargers. They may lose.
But that's what I'm saying.
The Eagles were letting everybody run the ball on them.
Okay, but let's say the Eagles, right? So let's say at worst they split. So let's say they beat Kansas City, they lose to the Eagles. So at worst, that's 4-4. That's 8 games, right?
Yeah.
They still have 9 games remaining. Let's say they go 8-1 in those remaining games. That's 12-5. 12-4.
Yeah. I'm going to look at Pittsburgh's schedule real quick.
So that's why I have them winning that division, is because their schedule is easy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Honestly, I think Steelers on top.
Okay.
I just looked at their schedule. It's pretty. I don't count that many losses on there. I think possibly. I mean, the Jets.
Yeah.
Always have a great defense, but they got the Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Raiders.
Don't sleep on the Falcons,
Huh?
but don't sleep on the Falcons.
You think the Falcons are going to beat the Steelers week 1?
I don't know if they could beat. Well, Justin Fields might start tomorrow, so Russ
Still, though.
has a calf injury, but I think Kirk
still, you
Kirk
think-
coming back.
I think Justin Fields a great.
Watch out.
It's okay.
Okay.
I think Justin Fields a good quarterback. I was going to say great quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's a field. He can operate the field well enough to get the win against Atlanta.
So I'll say this. So yesterday, I was having a conversation with one of my friends because he's a Steelers fan. And news broke that Justin Fields might start. Russ is dealing with a calf injury, whatever. So I have Adam Schefter's tweets notifications on, so I get them like instantly. So I sent that to him. He was like, "Let's go. Justin Fields is good," and I'm like, "Justin Fields sucks." That's what I said,
That's crazy,
bro.
That's a hot take.
But I don't think it's hot. I think it's a cold take. Let me explain. First of all, Justin Fields got traded from Chicago to. Bro, watch out, bro. Watch out. Thank you. Got traded. So he's just not a. So in terms of, I think he's bad. I don't think he's right now. I don't think he could really take anyone's job. Meaning, aside from like your starting quarterbacks, all 32, I think he could maybe compete for like maybe 4 or 5 of those positions. So like AFC East has their quarterbacks. All this to say, I think Justin Fields is below average.
Okay.
I think he's a below average quarterback, which is why he's the backup quarterback and why he got traded. If he wasn't, he'd be the starter. Now, do I think his potential is through the roof? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say he's not an insane athlete that can run the ball, can heave the ball 60 yards downfield. I'm not going to say that. That's stupid. But I'm saying if he was good enough, he'd be starting. Like he would have beat out Russell Wilson, and he would have the starting job.
I never thought that Russell Wilson was going to be the starter for the entire year for the Steelers this year.
Okay.
I think the narrative has been that Russell Wilson's going to play the whole year and Justin Fields just his backup. I think Mike Tomlin's entire plot was, Russell, you're going to play for a couple games, and as soon as we see anything small, we're going to swap you for Justin Fields.
Okay.
And not in a negative way to knock Russell Wilson. I think he's a great quarterback. But because Justin Fields' ceiling is so much higher.
Yeah.
And like you said, they went 11-6 with
Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph.
I mean, I think Justin Fields better than both of them. If not better, at least as good as Pickett.
I can agree
At
with
the
that.
very least as good as Pickett.
Yeah.
And so
I don't want her knocking over the camera.
she's messing up the camera. She's like, you kicking me out from over here? I go over there, and it's a problem. But yeah, I think he's as good as those quarterbacks. I think that's been the plan. As soon as the news broke, I don't know why. I never thought that Russell Wilson was going to stay the starter forever. And again, I don't know Mike Tomlin, so I don't know what he's thinking. But I would want Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the same room because Russell Wilson's going to tell Justin Fields how to read a defense and throw the ball, not just scramble, run for his life, but how to get the play, extend the play, and then, hey, Justin Fields is, I believe, a little bit more athletic than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So if he needs to run the ball, it's way more open for him than it would be for Russell Wilson.
Fair enough. But okay, so AFC West, Chiefs. AFC North, you're going Steelers.
I'm going Steelers.
AFC East, you're going Jets, right? You don't have to say it. You can just nod. Okay. Jets. AFC South, Texans, Jags, Colts, and
Titans.
Texans have a hard schedule, man. Look at their schedule.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I want to say Houston, but
they have a tough schedule, man.
Colts have a pretty. I don't think the Colts do that much better. Let's see the Jags.
Yeah, when I did one of my recent videos was on like who I think is going to make the playoffs in the AFC.
I didn't watch it
and
because I saw that you didn't have the Dolphins in there, and I was like, I can't watch this, bro.
But yeah, the Houston has a tough schedule, man. They play a lot of big time teams. So it's
man. I honestly say seeing because the Jags have a hard schedule too.
Yeah,
and I don't want to give it to the Titans, man. I think the Titans are maybe in shambles right now.
So you want to go Houston then?
Who's running back for the Titans now?
Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. He's a rookie or second year.
They do got Boyd.
They have Tyler Boyd? Oh, that's right. They traded for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they signed him. I forget. But
They got Boyd, Ridley. They're tight end.
and they have D-Hop.
Yes.
Titans do.
I really don't want to give it to them. But of the teams I'm looking at right now, their schedule,
Mm-hmm.
it looks maybe the easiest. You know what? CJ Stroud's pulling it out this year.
Okay.
We'll give it to Stroud and
Texas.
him with his new weapon there. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and
Tankdale.
Tankdale. Hopefully they can make some shake.
Yeah. So that's 4 teams. So we got Chiefs, Jets, Steelers, and Texans. You have 3 spots remaining. So for the easy one, that I guess you want to get out the way, is it going to be Baltimore or Cincy? Or Baltimore and Cincy?
No, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. So
Cincinnati's in.
That's 5. You have 2 spots left. Is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be Baltimore? Is it going to be maybe the Bills?
Heck no. Heck no. It's going to be Miami for sure.
Miami?
We'll get one of those spots.
Okay.
I think the other spot is probably just going to go to Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the same amount of teams. Or the same teams I had. No, I had Miami out and Buffalo in. That's what I had.
I just don't know. I don't know that Buffalo. I think they're slowly losing their. Well, who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Preseason, we'll see when they start playing. But I don't think Josh Allen is the quarterback that takes them all the way. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. I just don't think he's the guy for that offense that takes them all the way.
Okay.
So I don't have them. I think especially losing Stephon Diggs, I think we're going to see him try to force a lot more passes just to kind of make a statement like, hey, I don't need you. And it's either going to be really good or really bad.
Okay.
And so we'll find out in the first 3 weeks how that goes for him.
Yeah. And also last season, they started off rocky. They lost a couple close games and everything. And they were out of the AFC East. And then they went on a roll, won 6 straight to end the season. And then the Dolphins faltered their last couple games and lost. We had the AFC in our hands. If we don't lose to Tennessee and blow a 14-point lead with 2 minutes left, we win the AFC East.
Tennessee, man.
That's the only game I wish we got back. All the other games, fine, we lost. That is the only
Tennessee.
game. Yeah. Monday Night Football. That's the only game I wish we had
I almost
back.
went to that game. I'm so glad I did not. I would have been so frustrated. That's what I mean. Games we should win. Yeah. We don't. Yeah. I was like, this is an easy dub. I'm looking at next week. Yeah. It's the same thing they were probably thinking. And then we get destroyed by Baltimore. And
destroyed isn't even the word.
And lose. We have our starters
Bradley Chubb
playing in the fourth quarter of an absolute blowout. At the end of the fourth quarter of an absolute blowout.
Yeah.
Take them out. Stop trying to make a point as a coach. And you play bad, you're going to play the whole game. That's exactly what was going through my head. I was watching in the gym, and I'm like, fourth quarter, we're losing by 30. We still have our entire first-string defense playing right now. Everybody. No. Take them out. Take them out.
Game's over.
It's done. We're not coming back. Baltimore came to prove a point.
Yeah, they proved it.
They came to destroy us, and that they accomplished that.
Yeah.
We still have playoff berth. Let's stay healthy for when it's going to matter.
Dude.
Nah. And then season ending.
Yeah.
Of course.
But Jalen Phillips, great recovery. He's already back.
Good.
That's crazy. Tore his Achilles, and he's back.
If we can have our whole team healthy, man, we'll be good.
I think it relies. So last season, the story behind Tua was, can he stay healthy? Because the previous year he had the concussions.
Well, was concussed, right?
And I think he might have had a back or a hand issue as well. Not his throwing hand, but his other one. So the story coming into this last season was, can he stay healthy? He proved that he stayed healthy. He did the jiu-jitsu stuff, stayed healthy. Now this season, I think there's 2 stories to the Dolphins. One, like it is for every NFL team, is can you stay healthy? But B, can we beat those playoff teams in the regular season? Last season, 10-1 against, or 10-1 or 10-0 against teams below 500, and then we were 1-6 against teams above 500. Yeah, we were 10-0. That's what it was, because we went 11-6. So I think that is what we need to prove. And then the third thing might sound like a little bit hot take. Mike McDaniel needs to stick to the run. Dude, there's sometimes we're on the goal line and we just run the ball 30 times in a row and we've gone 90 yards down the field. Obviously, I'm exaggerating.
I get what you mean.
We're at the 1 yard line. Instead of just running the ball 4 times, he will shotgun pass 4 times in a row and we'll set up for a field goal. Just run the ball, bro.
You can't finish.
Just run the ball. Just call a run play. Just call 4 run plays. If you call 4 run plays and we don't score, I'm fine with that personally. I'm fine because you just picked up 90 yards running the ball 30 times in a row. I'm fine with that. Just run the ball. Just stick to the run, please. Oh, God.
It brings me back to high school.
Yeah.
We used to run trap every single play.
Yeah.
Like if it was working,
Keep running it.
we were running trap.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where we would not get in the huddle. It would just be like, all right,
Trap.
we're running trap.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
We'll just run trap. Go ahead. Run trap, run trap, run trap, pat. Yep. We'll run trap to the left. We'll run trap to the right. We'll run trap to the left. We'll run trap to the right. It didn't work. Run trap to the right again. It works. Okay, cool. We'll run trap to the left.
Exactly.
Like, that's what we did. And it worked. And
Yeah.
if it's working, like you said, don't fix it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep using it. We don't know how to finish drives.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing for the Miami Dolphins is if it's not a breakout touchdown, it's probably going to end up in a field goal. Like if we can drive the ball down to the 20-yard line and we're inching the ball, we're probably going to get a field goal because we need – our offense lives off shots. And so we live off turnovers and, defense does an amazing job of getting the ball and scoring with it when they're able to get in their hands.
Yeah.
But we live off home runs. And there are just times where we got to – it's not a home run. It's a base hit, but it's a touchdown now. And we don't stick to it. Stupid wide receiver screens at the 15-yard line. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? Nobody's blocking out there.
Yeah.
Just go use the talent that we have, the 3 amazing running backs that we have. Inside run, outside run. Figure out what's working. Get 6 points.
Yeah.
Like, just get in the end zone.
Yeah.
If we can get in the end zone, we'll win the game. Because our defense will inevitably come up with a stop.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Even when we're hurt, we find ways to stop teams. But it just gets to a point where, like you said, we're just not operating on offense, and your defense gets tired, man. They can't perform all the time.
Yeah.
It's not realistic.
Yeah. In terms of like our offense not performing, I do think it's a players thing, but I'm more so in the situation that we're talking about it. I think it's more so of just a play calling on Mike McDaniel's part. But yeah, we'll see tomorrow, 1 p.m.
Yeah, no. Hopefully it gets better.
Do you watch Red Zone?
No.
Oh, you don't watch NFL Red Zone? What?
I switch. I don't have like cable TV. I have bootleg TV. So I just switch through the games, or I'll watch it on I have this app on my phone that I watch all the games for free. So yeah, college. I'll put you on here.
I think I seen it on TikTok.
This is what it looks like. It's called the Dofu app.
Let me see.
Whoops.
That's Max Preps.
Wrong
I was
one.
like, that looks like Max Preps.
Wrong one. This one with the guy running.
Yeah. No way.
Put this down. It might be an ad in the. Obviously, there's an ad.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Right. But ain't nothing. That's nothing crazy. So from here, this will give us the news, like ESPN.
Yeah.
But then you click on that. It's all live games. So this is the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. But today's not NFL. Today's college football. So I'll have every college football game.
Wait. What's it called?
For the free ski. The Dofu app. For all you viewers out there. D as in David, O, F as in Frank, U.
Use code JP10 for 10.
Yeah. I wish Dofu app sponsor me. No. Somebody put me onto this app. They used to have boxing on here and MMA, which was crazy because for pay-per-view, I would just hook this up to my TV.
Yeah.
And I'd be good.
Is
but
it
now they don't have it anymore. It's just NFL, NBA, MLB, college.
Is it HD? Or is it like a little wonky?
No. It's HD.
What?
It's HD.
How has this not been shut down with the government?
No idea. If it gets shut down, I'll just find something else.
Yeah.
I've been living off free streams.
Stream East, Crack
Forever.
Streams.
Crack streams is crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
Buff streams.
Yeah.
Those are my go-to. I'm not paying for any game. I promise you that. I'm watching it for free. Yeah. And if I'm not watching it for free, I'm going somewhere to watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they have 12 TVs.
Yeah.
Go to an ale house or something. Have 30 TVs, all the games. I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah. Like last night, my friend, he doesn't have Peacock. He was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Bro, Stream East." He's like, "I thought they were shut down." I was like, "Nope, it's still there."
They just opened up a new domain, same name, different dot, something else.
Yeah.
Got to get the streams.
I was like, "Bro, it's there." Go.
No, yeah, I love it because I'll have my iPad, and it'll play one game, and then on my phone or on my computer, if I'm sitting on my computer, like how you have your setup.
Yeah.
I'll have another game.
Yeah.
Just set up, and I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm watching like the Gators game.
Yeah.
I'm watching somebody else play, and I'm like, yes, this is football season, bro.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I love football season so much, man. There's always something going on. The games are, you can always find a good game happening.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love football season, bro. Makes me so sad. I don't watch any. I'm not a sports dude, so I don't watch any other sports.
What? Not even like the NBA Finals when it's on? What?
It doesn't It doesn't pull my attention, bro.
Do you know who LeBron James is?
Yeah, I know who LeBron James is. I know who LeBron James. They're winning the chip this year. I know that for sure. The script has been written. Bronny James and LeBron win the chip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably not. But probably not. But that would be crazy if they did.
That would be.
So do you think, speaking of LeBron, do you think Michael Jordan's the best player of all time? Or do you think LeBron?
No.
No?
Jordan's the best player of all time.
What's your metric?
What's my metric? Okay. So I was talking to Henry when he was on here. So I don't like saying 6-0 in the finals. I think that's a weak argument.
I respect that.
I think it's really weak. How I tried to explain it to Henry, but I wasn't able to explain it the way I wanted to. So how I see Jordan's career, he played 18, 17 seasons, something like that. Jordan was at 100%, meaning his peak, for about 8-9 years.
Okay.
So he came into the league and instantly went from like 70 to like 80 and 90 within his first 2 years. Then he hit his peak and was 100% for 8 years. That was untouchable. Then after that, it was a decline. LeBron came into the league, sort of similar. He came in, the chosen one, 70, 80%. Once he got to Miami, I think he was 90%. Then later years of Miami, his last year or two, I believe that's when he reached 95%.
Okay.
At Cleveland. I don't think, to all this to say, no, let me finish. Then he's at Cleveland, wins the chip, 3-1 comeback. He's at 95%. Now he's in Los Angeles. They win the chip. He's at 95%. Now I think the last couple years, he's been at like 90%. All of this to say, I would rather have a player who was at an all-time peak 100% for this many years than a player who could never reach that 100%. That's one way I explain the argument. Now, I'm not going to get into the stats because there is a guy on YouTube called Jimmy High Roller. He does beautiful breakdowns, beautiful NBA statistical videos, and he's made 2 videos on the GOAT debate. Originally, my GOAT was Braun. Then I watched his videos, and Jordan.
He convinced you?
Yes. So that is what we'll say for the viewers. If you want to do your own research, go watch Jimmy High Roller. It's JXMY High Roller on YouTube. He has like 3 million subs. Videos are amazing. But that is my explanation.
Okay. I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it. I disagree, but I respect it.
Jordan or Bron is your GOAT?
I think LeBron is the best basketball player to play of all time. I think Michael Jordan is the basketball player that changed basketball for everyone across the globe.
Yeah.
But it's not about most influential. It's about who I think is a better player. Mm-hmm. And I think LeBron is just a better player than Jordan.
Fair enough.
That's just my personal opinion. But again, I'm not a basketball head, so take that opinion with a grain of salt. All right, don't come after me because I don't care enough about basketball.
If LeBron if Braun had right now 5 or 6 championships, he would be the GOAT for me. As much as I love Jordan, I think Braun would have to be the GOAT.
That's such a cop-out, though.
But it's not because
Jordan had listen. Jordan had a super team every time he won a chip.
Okay. Let me tell you about this. So, for the first 3 chips, they didn't have Rodman. It was just him and Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Then for I think it was
him and Pippen is crazy because Scottie Pippen is not
And then they had a Horace Grant, and they had a couple other guys, yes. But
We're talking about Scottie Pippen, Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen?
yeah,
that guy?
Yeah, but hold
Okay.
on.
I just want to make sure that we're on this.
I got you. Then for the second three-peat, I don't think they had Rodman for the first one, or they might have had him. I can't remember because he was with Detroit, and then Detroit ended up winning and going back to back. So I think he was there for that entire three-peat, right? Anyways, I'll say this. Jordan averaged 32, 33 points per game.
Baller.
Scottie Pippen only averaged 17 points per game. The second highest leading scorer on that team, right? So I'll say this. Bron, when he first went to the finals, not with Cleveland, because his team was horrible when he was on Cleveland. When he was in Miami, he played horrible. He averaged I think 18 points per game, and people like to sweep it under the rug. He had D Wade, who was balling out of his mind.
True.
He had Bosch, who was balling out of his mind.
Allen.
And Braun was getting locked up by Jason Terry. So that's why I say that, because the first one was against Dallas that they lost. So that's why I say, what happened to Braun? Then the second year, they win, or they lost to the Spurs, or they won. I can't remember, but because he won 3 in Miami, they went back to back, lost, and then won again. So those are perfectly fine. Then in Cleveland, the Warriors, the first year, if Kyrie doesn't go down and Kevin Love doesn't dislocate his shoulder, he has that. He has that ring. Then the next year, they end up acquiring KD. So can't do nothing about that. I mean, the next year they ended up coming back.
Still could have, not the next year, but the following year with KD.
Right.
Could have won.
Right.
Or
So,
had a chance.
Yeah. So the next year after the Warriors won, it was a 3-1 comeback, which in my opinion is the greatest comeback in all sports. Even though Jordan's my GOAT, I give respect is due, no matter what. Greatest comeback of all time. Him and Kyrie went absolutely insane.
Bonkers.
Right? Then the next year is when they acquire Kevin Durant, and they go back to back.
That's right.
And they didn't lose. And then they win Bron wins in Los Angeles. All that to say, I think if Bron just wins one of those, I think he's the GOAT. Because he's been to, 10 finals or 8 finals? So I think that achievement of even getting to the finals is impressive in itself. But to only win 4, I know I don't like talking about the ring debate, because I'm not just going to say Jordan has 6, Bron has 4. No, Bron went to either 8 or 10.
Let's just say 10.
Let's just say 10, and he only won 4 of them. But you got to look at what happened in those. When he went his first time with the Cavs, to be honest, they had no business being there. But the East was weak, and it was a close sweep. It was a close sweep, and they lost to San Antonio.
They had no business being there,
Right?
And yet, because of LeBron James,
Yeah.
he carried them on his back.
Yes, he did.
And brought them all the way to. Listen, Michael Jordan went to 6 finals, won all of them, but he didn't just play for 6 seasons.
Yeah, 100%.
So when he had a not so good team, he could not take them to the finals. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is I see the difference of LeBron having a not good team and still being able to find success with those bad teams that are not arguably bad. They're everybody can agree.
Yeah.
That's just a bad squad, right?
Yeah.
And still have success with those teams. Whereas Michael Jordan, he was a great player, but until he had other great pieces, he couldn't find success just by himself. That's the only thing that makes me put LeBron over Jordan when we talk about the greatest basketball player on a squad. Now, one-on-one, I don't know. I think Jordan has more of a killer mentality than LeBron, and he may beat him. But I think as a player on a squad, on a team of 5, I'm picking LeBron James over Michael Jordan any day of the week.
And so when Jordan was a rookie and his second and third year, he had Larry Bird. He couldn't get past Larry Bird because that Celtics team was stacked, right? Whereas when Bron went his first year, the East was weak. I can't think of any team in like the early 2000s. I mean, the Magic in the late 2000s, but I can't think of like a team that he
Was
had
super
to,
stacked.
that was super stacked. Exactly. So that's where I kind of like compare apples to apples. Whereas then
Well,
Jordan,
Miami was in the East.
huh?
Miami was in the East.
Oh yeah, you're right. But did they play Miami?
Huh?
Did they play Miami?
No, but they would have to beat the team that beat Miami in order to get to the finals.
Right. Yeah. True. Good point.
So
Well-
Miami can't be stacked when LeBron's there, and then not stacked when he's not there. Does that make sense? We can't say LeBron. We can't say Miami is stacked just because LeBron is there when they have all these other superstars like Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. I don't know when they acquired Ray Allen, but Ray Allen, right? And a bunch of other like really significant role players, Mario Chalmers, and I'm not saying that they're the greatest players of all time, but significant role players are important. And the Boston Celtics, Paul Pierce at that time, Kevin Garnett, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the late
Or
2000s.
Late
though.
2000s?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, those are the only two teams I can think of that may have given him a run for his money at that time. Yeah. Still impressive, though.
Yeah.
To make a run through the entire East
Yeah.
with a garbage Cleveland team.
Emphasis on garbage.
Garbage.
They were horrible. No, but like I give him credit for still getting there. I mean, to play 80 games, then go to the playoffs and get to the NBA Finals, and then lose in a close sweep to one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. I mean, I'm not taking that away from him. You know, that is definitely something to, you know, you won the East, you know? So, yeah. I think Bron wins one more, especially at this age. He's the GOAT.
He's going to win with his
As
son.
much as I hate to admit it, like you don't want to admit the Jets are going to win the division, like I gotta give him.
Had to bring that up,
I gotta
huh?
give him props. Wow, I'm trying to relate to you.
Had to bring that up, bro.
But yeah, I love it.
I'll never admit that out of my mouth ever in my life. The Jets, the Bills, or the Patriots. Never.
Last time the Dolphins won it was 2008 when Brady got injured, and the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, I was 4 days old. So,
That's so sad, bro.
and we're the same age, pretty much. So
That's so sad.
we've seen one division title and we've seen one playoff win. I didn't even see it, to be honest.
You were just alive for
I
it.
was alive for it. Yeah.
I really hope we do good this year. I really do, because honestly, it's rough out here.
I just want a playoff win, man.
It's rough being a Dolphins fan, man, because we're so good
yeah.
on paper,
Yeah.
and we suck
Yeah.
towards the end of the season.
I just want a playoff win. That's all I want.
It's so frustrating, bro.
That's all I want.
You need to be coaching, man.
I'll think about it, man.
You need to be
I've
coaching.
definitely been.
The only
there.
reason I said that, sorry for the audience, I know that was a very off-topic thing. Like I said, there's college football on today's Saturday when we're recording this, and we're watching Texas Michigan right now. Texas beat the living crap out of Michigan, and I'm just looking at this now, and I'm like, you know what? I was gonna ask you, what coverage you see up there, and
All
stuff like that.
Let's see. So currently it's the fourth quarter. There's like 9 minutes left. It's 31-6. Yeah, they're running man late in the game. You can see they're matching up, especially on the outside. You can tell they're running man, and they just have two safeties over the top. But yeah, with them running man, you don't have a backer. The backer that's standing over the guard on the right hand side on the B gap, he's probably going to drop back and be your spy for the quarterback.
It's 4th and 6. What do you think they hit? Probably a slant.
I have no idea.
No, he had a 5. Oh, but it's covered.
Ooh!
He lost the ball.
No, that's incomplete because it was forward. But either way, it's their ball, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, they were in man. The guy didn't drop back, but they still had the two safeties over the top. They brought pressure, so it was 5-on-4 with your back releasing out of the backfield.
Yeah, Michigan does not look good right now. Or
No.
Texas either looks really good or Michigan just
Matthew
Just-
McConaughey.
does not look good.
That's Matthew McConaughey right there.
Is it really?
Yeah. He goes to a lot of their games. Last season.
Really?
Yeah. Last season, because Pat McAfee, they like to travel and commentate on the sideline of games. Last season, for one of the games, they had Matthew McConaughey. Then for another game, it was the Texas and Sooners game. They had Glenn Powell. You know who he is?
yeah.
They had him on the sidelines, and that was an awesome game because Texas drove down and then kicked like a 50-something yard field goal to take the lead. Then Dylan Gabriel, who's now in Oregon, who was the former UCF quarterback, they drove all the way down the field and scored with 20, 30 seconds
He's at Oregon
left.
now?
Yeah. He transferred again.
Fire.
Yeah. So,
That was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
I think, speaking of Oregon, I think Bo Nix is going to be pretty good.
I think he's going to be okay. We got to see how he
he plays in a real game.
Right. With all that, preseason is worthless. Absolutely worthless. I could care less. You could throw for 30 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I could care less. It's preseason. It does not mean anything. Now, I sound really rude when I say that, but it doesn't mean anything.
I get what you're saying.
It literally does not mean anything.
I think people who watch and play football understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Like that's the time where people are trying to figure out who we're cutting.
Yeah.
Not who's starting.
Yeah.
They know who's starting. They're just trying to figure out who to cut from the roster at that point. So it's really plug and play.
Yeah.
He looked clean though. I think that I don't think that they were expecting much of him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be just a little bit better than what he was projected to be. I don't think he'll be some breakout quarterback, but I think he is going to be. I think he's more NFL ready than most people thought he was.
I agree.
Coming out of Oregon and coming out of that offense, but the Oregon offense is another offense. Like I want to watch them play. I want to see. We'll see how Colorado does today against Nebraska, but I want to see if they can actually hold their own against Oregon again. Probably not, but we'll find out. You think Colorado makes it to the playoffs this year in this new 12-team bracket?
Do I think they make it to the playoffs after what I saw against North Dakota State University?
No.
No. Now, do I think they could be top 25 team? Sure. Do I think they make the playoffs? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
Not even at 12?
No. I don't think they're that good. No. I think, obviously you have your obvious teams that are going to make the playoffs. You have Texas, you have Georgia, you have Alabama. To be honest, Florida ain't making it. Not Florida
We've been so
State.
used to this four team system.
UCF, I think, I don't know if they're top 12, but they're going to be top 25. UCF, I think, is going to have a good year this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They had a good show in their first game.
Yeah, they won like
right?
60-3 or something.
They beat the brakes off of some tiny school.
Yeah.
Florida State's going to lose to Stanford today.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'd put money on it.
Yeah. They're gonna get blown.
DJ Ugalaga is going to throw for 2 interceptions, probably like 52 yards.
I feel bad.
It'll be a great game for me, just to see them crash and burn.
Michigan might be able to. We'll see. Yeah, they're just running the ball out.
Michigan will probably be in the bottom of the top 12,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't think they'll be there for long.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think their schedule is pretty. They're going to be put through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're either going to have to wake up because this is not going to work.
No, it's not.
This is not going to work. And even if they make it to the playoffs, I don't think it. I just want to. I don't think it'll mean anything. But I want to see how, like, the NCAA does this system, this new 12-team system, because we've been asking for a wider playoff system since the playoff system became a thing, and now teams that didn't think they had a shot before have a shot now, like UCF being one of them. So it's really up to them to just be able to put their foot on the gas and get in there and play.
I love it, man, especially because of what happened at FSU last season. Now, I personally think I don't know if you've heard my opinion on it or not, but I personally think them being left out was the right decision because of Jordan Travis going down. That being said, this 12-team bracket now, teams or the audience isn't going to be pissed off that the 13th team was left out of the top 12, because chances are, it's more than likely that 13th team wasn't even going to win or contend for a national championship. It just gives that 1 and 2 seed a bye, and then your 3 seed plays the 12, and so on and so forth. So most chances are the top 4 teams will be undefeated. Teams at like anywhere from like 5 to 12 will have 1, 2, maybe 3 losses. So 3 at most, but I think it definitely makes the best team come out on top.
100%. And the beautiful thing about football is, with this playoff bracket, is that this is another reason why I don't watch a lot of sports other than football. In the playoffs, you get 1 game. That's it. It doesn't matter what you did the entire season. if you play good this one game, if you play your tail off this game and you win, you're on to the next round.
Yeah.
There's no, we'll meet next week for another game and just make sure that you're the better team.
Yeah.
No, it's if you're the better team on this day at this time for 60 minutes, you will progress to the next round.
Yeah.
And so teams like FSU who are counted out because their quarterback, which I agree, I don't think they should have been in the top 4 either. But with that being said, with this type of bracket, it still gives them a fighting chance.
Yes.
Because you never know what could happen, who's playing off that day, who's just on fire, and, it's football.
Yeah.
It's not over until it's over. The
Yeah.
clock hits 0.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about it. Unless you're Michigan. Then it's over right about now. But
Another team we forgot about is Georgia.
yeah, Georgia.
Yeah. But
Georgia's going, I think out of all the teams right now, Georgia's going undefeated.
Yeah.
I think Texas will probably lose a game. Alabama will probably lose a couple games. OSU
Ohio State too.
will probably lose a game. Depending on how Penn State looks, they'll probably lose that Penn State game. I know that Penn State just is itching to get a win under their belt against OSU again. I don't think Michigan's going to beat them, just seeing how they're playing now. But I think out of all the teams right now in college football, they'll probably be one of the only ones with like a sparkling clean record.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone gets. I don't think they have many close games either. They're different. They've shifted into what Alabama was.
Yeah. You're right.
That dynasty Alabama used to have. I think Georgia's now really starting to take that stride of like, nah, we are the team now in college football.
Yeah.
So
and last season, if there was the 12th team, because Georgia got left off because they lost in the SEC championship game to Alabama, I still think Georgia was the best team in the country, even though they lost. It's like. Football. I think it's the best because the conversation around the top 4 was who are the top 4 teams in the country, not like who do we think should be in. It was who are the top 4, period. So especially the back-to-back national champions had won, 36 straight games or something. You don't give them an opportunity to three-peat. I think that was ridiculous. But now with the 12 team, that wouldn't be a problem,
Yeah, they win. Yeah. They're in the top 4. They win
the championship
last year for sure. But again, football.
Yeah.
Like you weren't the better team when you needed to be the better team. And you get left out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it would have been more controversial to have them lose in the championship game and then play in the playoff game.
Yeah.
In that system that they had. Just because then it kind of brings the question, well, what's the championship game? Like, what's this division championship game even for?
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing ACC championship, SEC championship, Big 10, or Big 12, whatever it is now? Championship if you're just going to go off of pure talent.
Yeah.
Better just play the season and then make your decisions based off that, instead of adding that one extra game. But that was another great game. So was no, that wasn't last year. That was a couple years ago when Florida played Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Oh yeah, that was with Kyle Trask, right?
That was a good game.
Yeah.
For a while until the
end.
Till the end.
Yeah.
And then they started
taking off,
separating. Yeah. But for the most part, that's me just reminiscing on Florida being good at one point.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to wait at least
2 years,
2-3 years.
Yeah. We suck.
I say I love football, and then all the teams that I love suck.
Well, you can still love football, and they suck. That's fine.
I talk to people when like casuals or people who just haven't played football or watch football like that.
Yeah.
And they see me get frustrated at the Dolphins and at the Gators. And they're like, "Why do you watch football if you're just gonna get mad?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. You don't understand the love that I have. The reason I'm so passionate for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's a beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Lay it on me.
What do you go to church now?
I don't. I do my devotional every day.
Yeah.
So when we moved out here, we went to this church called Faith Assembly. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Big church.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
That church is huge.
Yeah, it's a massive church. But I used to go to First Baptist Church in Kissimmee, and that's a pretty big church. So in terms of the size, I wasn't really overwhelmed. Pause. But we went there, and we didn't really. I don't want to say I didn't enjoy it, but what we were doing, or not what we were doing, what they were doing is, they get in there, they like sing a song or two, and then, or no, maybe it was before they started. They were like, okay, we're accepting the tithes or the donations.
No, they did it exactly how you said it.
Oh, okay.
Which is one thing I didn't, threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
They'll do like one or two songs, then they'll do the tithe and offerings.
Yeah. So they did that, and like, I was like, okay, like, I mean, normally it's before, but I mean, I don't care. They're asking for the tithes, whatever. I'm like, that's cool. Then they did like another song, and then they asked for more money again, but this time it was for like a mission trip or something. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. Then they sing another song or two, and then everyone, gets off stage, and then their pastor comes up, and then they ask for more money for his bonus. And then they take a Bible verse out of context and say, it says like, you should donate to your leader or something like that. I don't know exactly verbatim what it was. And I'm like, what? Like 3 different times.
You're like, I just give you money twice.
Like, I'm not doing this. But that aside, I enjoyed the pastor. I liked how he preached. The lesson was fine. But that was sort of a turnoff. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So, but no, I don't go to church right now. Currently, we don't.
Okay.
Where do you go?
New Birth. Shout out New Birth in Kissimmee. If you're in Kissimmee or Orlando, anywhere in Central Florida, it's worth the drive. We're actually right there across from Mighty Wings. Do you know that church?
Oh, yeah.
You know that church that's across from Mighty Wings? Like literally right on the corner by the subway?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
We just bought that property.
Okay.
The Lord has blessed us with that property, all of it. So it's much bigger than we're used to.
Uh-huh.
But the Lord saw fit that's where he wanted us, and he opened the door. So we're just moving out in faith. I'm really hoping, because we have a youth and young adults ministry. So on Tuesday nights we meet. It's about 250 to 300 kids, bro.
Dang.
That meet in a hot gym because the building's not finished yet.
Yeah.
And bro, the atmosphere is crazy. Like 250, 15 to 29-year-olds, right? And everybody's just in there praising the Lord. It's a beautiful experience. And one thing that I think God has for New Birth is it's right by Gateway. It's right by Valencia, Osceola campus. So when we talk about them having an anointing for the youth and young adults, I don't think it's a mistake that they're so close to the youth and young adults in that specific area. But yeah, it's been a blessing, man, just being there. Definitely, obviously, some things that I'm not going to agree with everything that they do, but if I could submit something to you, I think that we should all find a home or church, right, that God has maybe pushed us to or is calling us to, right? I think sometimes telling people God's calling you there makes people feel like, oh, well, I don't really hear from God like that. So don't use that word, all right, if you're that person. Just a place where you feel there's a nudge or something that you may be able to improve at that church, right? Something where you can make an impact, because it's not always about us being fed. Sometimes we need to get our hands dirty too. Like I had a pastor tell me, or I've heard a pastor go, uh-oh. Are we good? Or did it break?
No, it just stopped because I ran out of storage because we were recording for so long.
Damn, were we? Oh my gosh, 3. Yeah.
Bro, we've been recording for 2 hours.
Damn.
Like 2 hours and like 30 minutes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't have anything to do. So what we can do is we can keep talking.
Okay.
But for the visual, they won't be able to like see anything.
Oh, so this is still picking it up?
Yeah, this is still recording.
Damn, I'm so sorry, guys. I just coughed in the mic, too.
So I don't know how much longer this has, but the video doesn't take up as much space as the audio does.
Okay.
So
We'll see. You can kick me out whenever, too.
Bro, my girl's at Disney. I got nothing to do today. So
He said, I'm good.
I'm chilling.
We're chilling. All right.
So you can continue with what you were saying. If you want.
Yes. So I think that we should all, just to go back, because I don't remember exactly where I left off, but I think we should all find a place where God is kind of pushing us to, because we're not always meant to be fed. With that being said, I think sometimes we worry about, excuse me.
Okay.
I think sometimes we worry about, is what the pastor's saying speaking to me every sermon? And that's super lazy. Like as a Christian, as somebody who wants to learn, period, right? Not even just as a Christian, but just as somebody who wants to learn about anything. That's super lazy, because if you only ate one day out of your week, you'd be starving for the rest of the week, right? I heard a pastor tell his congregation that one time. It always stuck with me. But it's common sense. Like, there are times where we have to also be the change that we want to see in the church. Mm-hmm. Because if every time something was wrong, we left, nothing would ever get fixed. Yeah. You know? And so to you, I would say, just on a personal note, maybe faith wasn't it. And maybe there is a place out there that God wants you to go, to where that thing that may bother you about that church is what he might want you to implement or change at that place. Yeah. Right. Reason that I don't like big churches is because they're big. Like, I like small churches. I think the impact that we have is a lot deeper, or can be a lot deeper than in a bigger church. I think bigger churches do a great job of reaching the masses through social media, through just their own media production, through missions, through all that. And I think local churches, or smaller churches, I should say, not local, but smaller, do a better job of rooting people in God and in who Jesus is, in a much more like person-to-person way. Yeah. So that's kind of what pulled me to one of the reasons that I also went to look for a smaller church, as opposed to going like to a Faith or there's a big one in Orlando as well.
Is it First Baptist Church of Orlando?
I think so. Okay. It's huge.
Yeah, that one's big. Yeah. But yeah, the church that I grew up going to, First Baptist Church of Kissimmee, it's a big church, but I loved that church. Like, since I had grown up there, I knew like everyone there. And I really enjoyed it, and I love our main pastor. Isn't there like a name for it? Like lead pastor, I guess. Whatever.
It means nothing.
But Pastor Tim, he's awesome. I love him, and the way he preaches, he is like very direct as well. And I'm a very direct and honest person, so that I love that, because it's like he'll say like, "Oh, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing," like, period. I'm like, yes, like, tell us. Thank you. Like, please, like, yes. And I love that. And sometimes here on Sundays, because they live stream it, so we'll even pull it up and watch. And I love the way he preaches and all that. But that being said, that's like 40 minutes from me, so it's a bit of a drive. My parents go to one here on Arcousie. That's like 20 minutes. And I've been thinking about going to that one too. That one's a little bit of a smaller church, but my parents love it. My mom is very, very particular about some of the churches she attends, because
as you should be.
Yeah. She she's a very like timid person, so she likes churches that don't really like force you to do things, and she really enjoys it. My dad loves it as well. But yeah, so I've been thinking about going back. One thing that I kind of feel a little strongly on is like take this lightly, but you don't have to go to church. Like, I think you have to go and be the church, once you leave church, but not to say that you shouldn't be making an impact and you shouldn't be spreading the gospel, but you could always be doing more. That being said, I'm not perfect, but I pray every day. My girlfriend and I, we sit down, we do our devotional every day. We talk, we discuss, we talk about, we get vulnerable, things we should be doing better, even just as a couple, and all that stuff. And I think I wouldn't really, that's just a different aspect of like the church. And then once we're done praying, we always pray for things we could be doing better, how to be more Christ-like. We pray for more opportunities to share the gospel. So that's why I haven't really gone back to a church. Not to say that I don't have interest in going back to a church, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
Amen. I agree and disagree.
Yeah.
To an extent. I don't think that church is a building, right? So I just seen your cat stand up to push the door open, bro. I don't think that church is a building. I do think that church is a congregation of people, though.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, even if it's not a church building, it's more of finding a community of believers that you don't have to pour into all the time, but can also pour into you.
Okay.
So like a church setting is where you're going to get the pastor who is human as well, but you're hoping they have a little bit more of an understanding of the Word of God than you do, so that they can feed you just a little bit.
Yeah.
So that you can then go and feed someone else, hopefully, or apply it to your life, right? And so that's what the church structure gives us. Now, today we've created church as a building, right? Like, oh, do you go to church? Yeah, the one down the street, the one in the corner, Faith, First Baptist, New Birth, Faith in Christ Jesus, whatever, right? Like, that's all useless. Like you said, we are all the church. It's just more of finding a community. Like for me, I don't like people, right? So for me, going to church, I didn't want to do it at all. I was an online church dude, like sermon watcher. I watch a bunch of sermons daily just because I enjoy it, right? That's just me. And I was like, I'm not going to church. I don't need to. These pastors online, they're feeding me. I'm good, right? I'm in my word. I'm fine. And I felt a conviction of, you might not want to go to church, but the church needs you to be there because there is something that you see is wrong that they've been doing for so long. They don't understand that it's wrong. And one of the things that I see in scripture is like the Pharisees, right? So those were like the church folk of back in the day. They were doing a whole bunch of stuff wrong, but they didn't see it as wrong until Jesus stepped on the scene with his disciples, and he was like, that's not important.
Yeah.
And the one that I remember is the Pharisees, the religious leaders. They come up to him and they're like, why do your disciples not clean the cups or wash, not the cups, not wash their hands before they eat? And he's like, I'm paraphrasing, guys. He's like, that's not important.
Yeah.
It's not about what goes in you. It's about what comes out of you. That's important, that I care about, right? That God cares about. And so where they're having this frustration of like, oh, you're breaking religious laws, Jesus is literally telling them, hey, these laws that you've created aren't right, period.
Yeah.
But if nobody comes up to them and tells them that,
they don't know.
They go hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, in some places, those rules are still
in place,
like actual lifestyle rules for people or for people groups, right? So it takes people who are inspired by the Holy Spirit, who really do have a righteous, I believe the term is a righteous indignation, like a righteous fire, a holy anger, right? For something like to make that change. So I'd encourage you, if you are looking to maybe not find a building, right? If it's just like, I don't feel like going to a building of church, but find a community of people who meet together, who, whether it's at a Starbucks or a freaking on the street or at a gym or on a corner or at the bottom of this, in here, it could be, right? Where like that's what you do for that amount of time. Because it's just practice.
Yeah.
Like we can't expect ourselves to talk to others about Jesus if we can't even talk to a group who knows him.
Yeah.
Like if we get uncomfortable getting in a group of believers and being like, oh yeah, God did this for me, or I'm struggling with this, or what does this mean when God says XYZ in the Old Testament or the New Testament? How much less are we going to do that when we're out in the field and we feel the impression of the Holy Spirit go, hey, go pray for that lady that's buying, that milk up there.
Yeah.
You're like, hell no. Yeah. The devil is a lie. I'm not praying for nobody in Walmart.
Yeah.
Or, hey, go pay for their groceries. Like, God, you see my bank account? I'm broke. I'm not going to pay for. But without that practice of the muscle of community of like, hey, this week, I felt God tell me to go help somebody with their groceries, like just carry their groceries. And, they told me, wow, what a blessing. They had just da-da-da. Like, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
But we can't get that if we're not in that kind of community, So just as encouragement, if you ever find yourself doing it, definitely lean into it and look for it. It's been a big help for me, just as self-reflection.
Yeah.
Just seeing other people's walk and being like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the only messed up guy here.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
so it's a beautiful thing, bro.
That's awesome. This new influencer, Bryce.
I think so.
White boy, like bowl cut sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing awesome things too.
Crawford?
Yes.
Last name?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Yes. He was he the guy that was just at Burning Man?
Yeah.
Is that him? Okay, yes. Yes. I was thinking of another guy, Care or Wellington or something like that. But I like him and Cliff.
Cliff is awesome. George, you watch Georgienko?
I don't watch him, but I see him. Like, I follow him on social media, so I'll watch his shorts. I'm not a big I don't find myself watching as much long format anymore as I used to. Like, honestly, I'm a nerd, so I'll put on like a sermon or something and just watch that to try and gain a little bit more of an understanding of whatever I'm reading, or hope that God speaks to me through some sort of sermon.
Yeah.
But I do watch the snippets of those, like street evangelism and stuff like that. I love it. I think that something God's personally put on my heart in the past couple of months, just with life going on, is you never know how much time you really have. Like, that sounds super cliche, right? Everybody says it, but
that's true.
It takes having something sudden happen to you for you to realize, oh snap, this life is really not promised. Like, there are kids our age who they're just dead.
Yeah, like that.
Like, they're gone. There are kids today, right now, our age, that will go out, think they are going to make it back home, and will not make it back home.
Yeah.
Now that is sad in and of itself, but what makes it even more painful for me, even if I don't know them, is they have no relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
But they had a relationship with me.
Yeah.
And I was too afraid to tell you about who Jesus was for me and who he could be for you, because of what I thought you would think of me, or what I thought you would think of the subject, or maybe you get frustrated at talking about God and stuff like that. And I let whatever circumstance prevent me from preaching the gospel to you, and now you're gone. And now I have to pray that God has mercy on your soul, because I don't know if anybody ever presented to you, but I know that I didn't. And so a big thing that I've been shifting towards is like, any opportunity that you get, if you can, to do it. Like, it doesn't matter how uncomfortable it may feel. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable it may make that other person. Always be respectful, right? Don't be a Christian bigot, but eternity is more important than comfort.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more worried about you not dying than you liking me.
Yeah.
Like, you could hate me by the end of this conversation, but you're going to understand there's somebody named Jesus out there.
Yeah.
What you want to do with that information is on you. But by the end of this conversation, that will be your takeaway.
Yeah.
And so none of us can save anybody. The Bible tells us, right, that only God can save, right? That only someone can confess Jesus to be Lord by the Holy Spirit. So God's the only person that can save anybody.
Mm.
But we can plant the seed.
Yeah.
Right? We can scatter the seed on any and all types of soil. And I think that is our job as people who claim to be believers, to scatter seed and to ask God in your devotional time with yourself or with your significant other to be like, hey, God, like, give me the wisdom, give me the courage to go out and spread seed, like, just to show people how good you are to me and how good you could be to them. So that's been a big thing for me lately that I've kind of just been keeping in the back of my mind, for sure.
That's beautiful. I love that, bro. That's awesome. I don't have anything else to talk about.
I'm good.
This is my longest episode yet, bro.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Bro.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on, bro. This is awesome.
I'm sorry I had to reschedule this.
No, you're.
And the game, the whole scheduled thing.
No, it's fine.
My bad.
It is what, bro. It's okay, bro.
I really didn't realize the schedule was different until because you were texting me like, oh yeah, like almost like I'll see you tomorrow, and I'm like, or this week, and I'm like,
No, you won't.
I have a bye. Talking about a field pass, like, what do you know that I don't? And then I'm like, what schedule did I send him? And I look through my pictures, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So what did you send me before?
It was literally the week after we had changed the schedule.
Oh, okay.
So we Colonial dropped out. We needed to fill our AD or whoever told us our week 3 was a bye, and then we needed to refill our schedule, like with another team. So it just moved some stuff around.
Okay.
The schedule is basically the same, except for our bye. Our bye shifted, and then our Kickoff Classic. Excuse me. Our Kickoff Classic changed, and then our second game changed.
Okay.
Which was against Flagler Palm Coast. Yeah, nah, that was a bad game. That was a bad game, bro. That was a bad game. But I'm glad that I thank you for having me again.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful home.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. And I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we had great conversation. I hope some viewers can take away from what we said and what we've talked about as well. But yeah, thank you for sharing, about your faith and also about football and all of our experiences. So appreciate it.
Always, yeah, man. I'm going to do a shameless plug. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'll do a shameless plug.
Well, the camera's not working,
It's
but
all right.
yes.
Audio plug. A shameless audio plug. I'm going to give Chris my socials to put in the... I'm pointing like the camera can see me. In the comments below, if there is anybody out there that has any questions about their faith or just God in general, please don't hesitate to comment. I'll look at the comments. Nothing crazy, you guys. Don't do anything crazy. But feel free to DM me. My DMs are open for any questions, comments that you guys have about God, about who he is, who he could be for your own life specifically. And, if you're looking for a home, please feel free to reach out to both of us. And, we'll try the best to lead you in the right direction for your walk with God. And yeah, that's it. That's my little shameless plug right there.
Amen. That was awesome. I love that. Well, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Well, you're not watching anymore. You're listening, but
Yeah, right.
Hopefully you all enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you all next video. Peace.